Looking for a job is lonely. Endless searching, phone calls that go nowhere, applications that vanish into thin air. What if you could link with dozens of local companies who are hiring right now with just one connection? That's Express Employment Professionals. Find us at expresspros.com. One connection, endless opportunities, and no fees ever for job seekers. Express Employment Professionals. expresspros.com.
Without the ones like you, who work tirelessly to keep things running, everything would suddenly stop. Hospitals, factories, schools, and power plants, they all depend on you. No matter the weather, emergency, or time of day, you're the ones who get it done. At Grainger, we're here for you with professional-grade industrial supplies. Count on real-time product availability and fast delivery. Call, clickgrainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
I'm Sandra, and I'm just the professional your small business was looking for. But you didn't hire me because you didn't use LinkedIn Jobs. LinkedIn has professionals you can't find anywhere else, including those who aren't actively looking for a new job, but might be open to the perfect role, like me.
In a given month, over 70% of LinkedIn users don't visit other leading job sites. So if you're not looking on LinkedIn, you'll miss out on great candidates like Sandra. Start hiring professionals like a professional. Post your free job on linkedin.com/recommend today.
What's up?
Well, it's what's down that's got my attention.
Oh?
Yeah, look at that long snake.
Snake? Oh, traffic. Those are cars.
I know they're cars. I'm being metaphorical. If I were a human, I'd ride that Bel Air airport or shuttle. Look at it. It gets you to SeaTac quickly. You can sleep, look out the window, be productive, and it's in the HOV. Hey, maybe it stands for heading on vacation.
Bel Air Airport or Shuttle with 8 round trips daily. Click airporter.com to book your trip today.
What's up? It's your boy, the Ted Smith from the Men's Room. And did you know I have a podcast? Well, I do. The Podcast. New episodes uploaded every Wednesday on the Odyssey app.
Unfortunately, what you're about to hear is real. The members of this radio program are simply not that bright, or what some people would call educated. They are merely stupid. They're not trying to offend anyone on purpose. And all have played doctors on TV. You have been warned and are cordially invited to join the party. This is the Men's Room.
Forget it, man, and get with the countdown. Get with the countdown. Shake this square world and blast off for Kicksville. The trippers, the grasshoppers, the hip ones, all gathered in secrecy and flying high as a kite.
This is the Men's Room with Miles and Thrill. You know what they say, shake your radio more than 3 times, and you're playing with it. You're listening to the Men's Room.
And away we go. Welcome to season 19, episode number 4088. Along with Steve the Thrill Hill, the Ted Smith, and Mike Hawk. And you are the Men's Room. On tap today, the return of Who Sucks Less. We will play Profile This. Plus headlines, Men's Room Shot of the Day, fun with listener emails, and everyone's favorites, TV Time with Ted.
Click, clack. Drinking and drunk.
All right, here we go to Montana, where motorists witnessed an escaped elephant walking down the street. Meanwhile, in Texas, the U.S. Coast Guard seizes 460 pounds of illegal meat. Local authorities catch 3 men suspected of stealing crabs and pots. A couple gives up $24 million to hike the country and to sleep in cots. And a woman brings her dead uncle to a bank to try to get a loan. That is all coming on today's very special episode of The Men's Room.
And now, here's the question.
Hola, bitches. Good day to you and yours. All right, what do Kanye West, Adrian Brody, Martin Lawrence, Chevy Chase, Steven Seagal, and Rage Against the Machine all have in common? Well, they've all been banned from Saturday Night Live. Different specifics in each case, but essentially, all of them proved to be too douchey to deal with. And let's face it, being a douche, good way to get yourself banned. Think about how many airline passengers and fast food customers have gotten themselves banned for being an insufferable a-hole. And being an insufferable douche isn't the only way to get yourself banned. The NBA just banned Toronto Raptors forward Jonte Porter, not for being douchey, but because of illegal betting on NBA games that he played in. And the NBA wanted to make it very clear, no. Our refs do that, not the players. But he has now been banned from the NBA for life. So that's another way to get banned. Now, you can also get kicked out for, well, looking like a prostitute. That's according to WWE star one Chelsea Green. She was kicked out of a bar in New York City after being accused of being an escort because of the way she was dressed. And I do not know what she was wearing, but security escorted her out because they thought she straight up was a hoe. And then we have the French couple. They have been permanently banned from keeping pets. You see, they lived with 7 dogs in an 861-square-foot apartment. And in addition to the 7 dogs, they also shared the apartment with 159 cats. Needless to say, it wasn't the most sanitary situation, and they earned themselves a ban. And we're talking today about getting banned, fired, kicked out of someplace. Maybe it's you, maybe it's someone else, but today's question is, what did someone do to get banned, fired, or kicked out?
To be a part of the big show, call 206-803-ROCK. You can like the Men's Room on Facebook, follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Men's Room Live, and send your emails to the Men's Room at KISW.com.
Without the ones like you, who work tirelessly to keep things running, everything would suddenly stop. Hospitals, factories, schools, and power plants, they all depend on you. No matter the weather, emergency, or time of day, you're the ones who get it done. At Grainger, we're here for you with professional-grade industrial supplies. Count on real-time product availability and fast delivery. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Whether you love true crime or comedy, celebrity interviews or news, you call the shots on what's in your podcast queue. And guess what? Now you can call them on your auto insurance too with the Name Your Price tool from Progressive. It works just the way it sounds. You tell Progressive how much you want to pay for car insurance, and they'll show you coverage options that fit your budget. Get your quote today at Progressive.com to join the over 28 million drivers who trust Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
I'm Sandra, and I'm just the professional your small business was looking for. But you didn't hire me because you didn't use LinkedIn Jobs. LinkedIn has professionals you can't find anywhere else, including those who aren't actively looking for a new job, but might be open to the perfect role, like me.
In a given month, over 70% of LinkedIn users don't visit other leading job sites. So if you're not looking on LinkedIn, you'll miss out on great candidates like Sandra. Start hiring professionals like a professional. Post your free job on linkedin.com/recommend today.
New Yorkers and visitors alike are heading to New York City's extraordinary experience that you have to feel to believe. Summit One Vanderbilt, an interactive multi-level experience of art, sky, and exploration. Discover exhilarating heights, explore reflective spaces, walk among floating silver orbs, and immerse yourself in spectacular views of New York. Book your visit at summitov.com and start your journey here.
The debauchery rolls on. You're listening to The Men's Room with Miles and Thrill. 99.9 KISW.
Oh, Michelle, away we go. Welcome to season 19, episode number 4088. What a large and in charge program we have for you today. Guaranteed future repeat, the exciting return of Who Sucks Less. Steve, I don't know how you do it, but you find people in the news doing bad things.
Oh, yeah.
And you bring us 3 stories each and every week. It is up to us to determine, out of the 3 stories, which one sucks the least. How brutal is it this week?
How'd you put it earlier today, Mike? There are some bad people.
Yeah.
Some bad people in the world. They're not the worst, but they're bad.
They're out there.
They're up there.
All right. Who Sucks Less coming up, and also we'll have some updated locations for the brand new Men's Room IPA from Black Raven Brewing. Hopefully, if you made it to the game last night or you're there this afternoon, you found us in a couple of the sections there at T-Mobile Park. We've got tons of grocery stores adding it, tons of bars adding it, and not so far down the line, another announcement coming up as far as a little Men's Room bar adventure, so to speak.
Bar adventure, I like that.
Bar adventure is what we'll call it on the Men's Room World Tour. So all that is coming up. And today we're going to talk about people getting banned, fired, or kicked out. This is kind of a shocker. As Toronto Raptors forward Jonte Porter's NBA career came to an abrupt end today The 24-year-old was banned for life from breaking gaming rules. The league said an investigation found that Porter violated league rules by disclosing confidential information to sports bettors, limiting his own participation in one or more games for betting purposes, and betting on NBA games, including his own team, and betting on them to lose. The league said that before a March 20th game, Porter disclosed confidential information about his own health status to an individual he knew to be an NBA bettor. He took himself out of that game after less than 3 minutes, saying he didn't feel well. And an individual with whom Porter associated and knew to be an NBA bettor won $1.1 million with an $80,000 parlay.
Damn.
The bet wagering that Porter would underperform. The league said the payout was frozen due to unusual activity, and it was told about suspicious bets on Porter's performances by licensed sports betting operators and an organization that monitors legal betting markets.
Damn, man.
24 years old, spent his whole life playing basketball, good enough to play in the NBA.
Yeah.
It's over.
Well, you can't, look, man. If you're going to bet on your own team and then you sabotage your own team to win money, yeah. They're going to be, like I said, now, the officials in the NBA, they've been running this game for years, right? Mm-hmm. But yeah, as a player, you can't do it.
He used a buddy's account
or
to play.
get caught.
And listen, like for years, right, there's always the Pete Rose stuff. I am not a Pete Rose fan.
Right.
Like there is much worse people in the Hall of Fame. They have a few cardinal rules. One is you can't bet on baseball. Mm-hmm. When he was a manager, he did.
That's right. Exactly. So and it's not a big ask. My brother, look, he's in the NFL. I guess during the offseason maybe he can, but he said, like, you can't even, if he's doing a Seattle game, he's like, I could not go to Muckleshoot. I can't be there. Even if I'm playing the slot machines, it has nothing to do with sport. They can't gamble at all. They can't.
Yeah.
He said when they get the games in Vegas, the players get excited for obvious reasons, but he's like, all of us, we're older. We're not trying to, like, snort coke and find prostitutes on the strip, but who doesn't want to just go in and play slots?
We
can't do it. And even a slot machine, it's like
your flight's delayed for 2 hours. You're in the airport.
And you can't pull a
You
slot.
can't go and even play any of those
slot
games in there.
Oh, trust me. He's like, it's annoying for that very reason. Like, you're leaving Vegas, flight delayed. Everyone else is pulling slot machines. It has nothing to do with my job at all. But, man, if you got popped doing it, that's the end of your career, period.
Right. Or even like
certainly can't bet on the freaking game.
The perception of even sitting at the bar and having a few drinks before you get on a flight. I'm sure that's fine. I'm just saying the perception of it.
They do that. I've gotten some phone calls from them where they're like, hey, man, a flight's delayed to just see the game. Like, he thinks he's keeping it together.
Okay, all right.
Obviously, he's a couple of sheets to the wind.
Good. Well, he used a buddy's account to place 13 bets on NBA games in the first 3 months of this year. Now, he did not play in any of those games, but 3 bets were multi-game parlay bets that did include one Raptors game, in which Porter bet that the Raptors would lose. The league noted that Porter lost all 3 bets. Nothing more important than protecting the integrity of NBA competition for our fans or teams, blah, blah, blah. He is the brother of Denver Nuggets forward Michael Porter Jr., and did not play for the Raptors again after the NBA investigation was launched.
How do they figure this all out? Just because his partner is a known NBA bettor?
Basically what was...
And he's doing too well?
They have people that monitor suspicious behavior.
All right.
And when someone wins $1.1 million on an $80,000 parlay that said that Porter is going to underperform, then there are multiple bets on just this guy's individual performances that seem a little bit suspicious.
Okay. Right, because he checks himself after 3 minutes of a game and goes, I don't feel well.
Yeah. And that's what you bet on.
Right. So now all of a sudden, they probably notice at some point during the day, like, that's odd. There's $80,000 bets involving him not scoring well.
Okay. There's one thing that I could bet last night that Golden State beats the Kings.
All right.
Which they did not. I could also bet that Thompson could not hit a three-pointer to save his life, which he could not.
Sure.
But if I bet on that, and for some reason it's suspicious because this guy's normally 5 for 7 or 6 for 10 from the three-point line, all of a sudden, he threw up 8 bricks last night, easily. But if that's consistent and that kind of stuff keeps happening, there's somebody out there that goes, wait a minute, we need to look into this because this is a guy that the previous 3 games, he's been on fire. This one game,
that you bet all this money on.
He bricks 8, and there's a parlay on it. There's...
I don't know, it just feels like right on Klay Thompson.
No, I'm just saying.
He was shockingly bad last night.
He was shockingly bad. That's what I'm saying. You could bet
I'm sure they checked the bet.
You could bet on, but you could bet on all kinds of different stuff.
I wonder if that's why Shaq's like, listen, I could hit a free throw anytime I want. We always bet that I wouldn't. I'd be like, well, damn, Shaq.
Right.
Well, there was a guy a couple nights ago that missed 2 free throws so everybody in the arena could get free chicken. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But we knew that.
Okay, right. And never forget, Mike, I know you haven't seen it.
He became a crowd favorite real quick.
You've seen Goodfellas.
Yeah.
Right? Famous movie, right? I mean, all the drug dealing, all the crime and stuff. They kind of gloss over it in the movie. The reason they got caught was they were shaving points on Boston College hoops games.
Oh, right.
And somehow it got to the feds, and the feds were like, oh, we can get him on this.
Right. Now, if you wanted to bet on Draymond Green getting kicked out of the game in the first half.
I'll take that bet.
That's not suspicious.
Right. He does it all the time.
Or punches someone in the face during the course of the game. I'll take that bet.
Yeah. Or how many threes Curry will put up. Well, that's a legitimate bet. But the fact that this guy who's just like a 6th, 7th player off the bench or maybe even a starter, but the fact that he's going to excuse himself from the game after 3 minutes, and there's that kind of bet on the table.
Right. The prop bets are the tough ones.
And they look at them. They have to. Now we have a very unusual story as we head north.
By the way, real quick, someone says, who is Steve's brother? My brother is an NFL referee, and that is why they cannot do any kind of gambling at all. And he can't play frickin' roulette. Think about that. Well, you're an NFL. What does this have to do with football? Doesn't matter.
Yep.
Hey, look, my brother is an administrator of school. He has 2 phones because he doesn't trust the jokes that me and my friends will send him.
Well, probably because the school is paying for the other phone.
But, he just went and bought one.
Oh, okay.
So he has like a burner phone. Is it a burner phone for you and your friends, or is it a burner phone for school?
No. He has basically an extra phone just for, like, me, a couple of my cousins, and our friends.
Well, what did you say the one time? It's great. Like, you called your buddy Bernie, and he just said, first words, Ted, my kid's in the car. Before you even say anything, just letting you know.
But I was like, really? He's like, you never know this day and age. He's like, if somehow I got fired, they could go and look at you. He's like, I can't, like, his work uses his other phone. So he's like, I just bought a separate one because I just know you guys.
That is safe.
What you're going to say.
Right. Now we head up the road to a beautiful Victoria, British Columbia.
Yes.
What an amazing, cool city that is. And there was a celebrity in town for a little bit. His name was Emerson, and he's a pseudo-celebrity. He is the resident elephant seal of British Columbia's capital city, Victoria. Really loves his chosen hometown, really likes it. Last week, conservation officers decided that Emerson's penchant for hanging out in the city flower beds, parks, and roads was not the best suited to the longevity of the animal, and decided to give him a little ride to a remote beach, 95 miles away.
Okay.
So they basically took him up Vancouver Island a ways, right? Okay. 5 days later, the 500-pound animal was back in the city limits, according to The Guardian, meaning he clocked about 19 miles a day to get back to where he wanted to be.
Confident.
I was pretty floored. I got the email on the weekend and said to myself, there is absolutely no way it could be him already. That from fishery officer Morgan Van Kirk. He was one of the people who helped relocate Emerson. But yeah, this is his home. He's letting us know that. Emerson's vibrant social life is complicated by the fact that he's currently molting or shedding tissues like skin and whiskers, which saps a lot of his energy. However, that did not stop him.
I'm so tired shedding whiskers.
Since he's just done this big journey, we don't want to put too much extra pressure on him in case he does want to come back. Officials
obviously wants to come back. He came back.
Yeah.
I was going to say, you already tried and he's back.
He came back. You know he wants to be here.
And officials also dealing with the public that's pushing the limits with a very large wild animal because he's a celebrity. So they're thinking they can approach the animal or introduce their dog.
That is not how that works.
He doesn't know he's a celebrity.
No,
right.
They've tried to pet him and once even trying to get a kid to touch his nose and tried to put a kid on the back for a picture.
Are you being serious right
yes.
now? Yes. A 500-pound sea lion.
According to Van Kirk, that usually never ends well for either the people or the animals. And it can lead to injuries or worse for people or the animals involved.
You think even the kids are like, Dad, I don't think this is a good idea. I don't think I should touch his nose.
Yeah. And one marine biologist said, like, look, this is where Emerson lives. Obviously, this beach has everything he needs to survive and all he wants right now. He has picked a great spot, so he's determined that he's going to stick with it. So after removing this thing 95 miles up the coast to a different beach, 5 days later, this thing found its way back. After being kicked out, essentially, of Victoria.
He's got to be getting ass. I think he's getting sea lion ass, right? I mean, I think any mammal, if it's like, look, I'm getting laid and it's that time of the year, wherever you take it, it's going back to the spot where the ass is.
Yes.
Yeah, and it's just his home.
And it's home. He doesn't know why you're moving him. He doesn't know he's a celebrity, and he does not want your damn kids touching his nose or on his back.
Yeah.
And he doesn't want to meet your dog. Why would people just assume that it's friendly because everyone knows it's there? Right? If there's a polar bear wandering around Seattle and we all give it a name, it doesn't make the polar bear nice. It just means we call it a name.
Right.
Yeah.
Now we go to a story that happened before the WWE event in New York, where star Chelsea Green appeared to be involved in a situation at a hotel.
She's hot.
As WrestleMania 40 was going on, Green wrote on X she was kicked out of the hotel after being accused of being an escort because of what she was wearing. She says, quote, "Man, one night you're wrestling at Barclays Center, having the time of your life. And next thing, you're being kicked out of the Fairmount and accused of being an escort because of your outfit. Life is funny. Maybe next year I won't celebrate WrestleMania weekend at the Plaza Hotel." Speaking of Victoria, they also have a Fairmount. We have one down the street here.
Yeah, we do.
Very fancy, schmancy hotels.
Yeah, it's kind of what they're known for.
Stayed at a Fairmount in Toronto.
The former women's tag team champion explained to TMZ Sports that she went with a friend to the Plaza Hotel Champagne Bar for a drink before they were going out to a Broadway show. She said they were asked to leave because they were not guests of the hotel. Green said another patron saw the ordeal play out and invited her and her friend, and security yelled something like, "We aren't playing your games, and we know what you're doing here." She said she believed security thought she was an escort. She added that she was embarrassed over the situation, and when she tried to go to the desk to speak to a manager about the issue, security guards allegedly chased her down and told her to leave. She said when she was finally able to speak to someone, security guards laughed off her claims. The pro wrestler said she's confident surveillance footage was going to back up her story. Fairmount Hotels, which manages the plaza, did not respond to comment. Matt Cardona, Green's wrestling husband, who recently made a surprise appearance on All Elite Wrestling's Collision, joked, "I thought it was bad when they allowed a 10-year-old to check in without his dad." Green was...
that's a pretty good callback out of him.
Green was a tag team champion with Sonya Deville, but after an injury, Piper Nevin replaced her as tag team champ. So there you go on that. So that's a different kind of way to be kicked out of someplace.
Right, the assumption that you're a hooker. Like, I'm not. Well, the way you're dressed, that's the way she dresses.
Well, and she plays a hot chick, kind of the mean girl of the WWE, and even then, like, when it comes to scantily clad, one, she's not even up there with the scantiliest of clad, and two, I can't see her wearing that just in her everydays either.
And did you see the picture she posted with it?
No, I did not.
She's in like a mini dress, heels, and like a short top. And then I guess she had, I don't know, that's her boyfriend's blazer over top of it or whatever. Right. Also, this just tells me if you want high-end escorts in New York, you go to that hotel.
You go to the Fairmount, yeah.
It's enough of a problem where they're kicking out people who aren't working.
Yeah, she is, she's easy on the eyes. I'd never seen her before. Then Mike showed me a picture. I'm like, yeah, if she's a prostitute, she's getting our money. So that's basically my position. I think if I were at that bar and I heard that, I'd be like, wait a minute, ma'am, I'm sorry this happened to you. Side question, are you actually a prostitute? And if you are, how much?
Right.
She's that good.
Yeah.
Then I'd get my ass kicked.
So Saturday, I witnessed a couple get escorted out of a bar that I stopped into after I got done playing a little golf. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to stop and get some food, get some chicken wings, just relax for a minute. It's a nice sunny day.
Yeah.
Just going to hang out, get a beer, chill out for a little bit. So, couple beside me. Now, the woman is doing that thing where she has turned the bar stool all the way, so all I see is her back of her head. But she's still kind of in my space a little bit, all right? Which is annoying as hell because it's like I got hair flipping at me. I got, her scooting back. She's got like stuff in my front area and all that stuff. But they're going at it. And apparently they've been there for a while.
Okay.
I find this out after the fact. They've been there for like 2.5 hours.
Are they like yelling at each other? Or?
Apparently she wanted to break up with this guy. Okay. But they were in town from San Diego, from what I understand.
All right.
You can't just wait till you get back.
I don't know what was going on, but she was like, you got to stop. You got to stop. You got to stop. And he could chop. He's just going. I really can't hear too much of what's going on. But either way, like now they start to get louder.
All right.
There's a couple bartenders in the front. Everybody, I'm the closest person to them. And this guy said something really inappropriate. I'm like, whatever the deal was.
Do you remember what it was?
I do basically remember what it was. It involved a C word and a couple other things.
Oh, that's one way to guarantee the breakup.
So I leaned forward a little bit. And I go, hey, buddy, man. I said, go easy here or take it outside or go back there and sit at a table because no one wants to hear your ass.
And that's coming from Miles Montgomery.
That's coming from me.
You don't understand. If Miles is telling you that what you said is inappropriate, you're way out of line.
This has been going on for 20 minutes, and she is trying to calm him down and do that stuff. And I'm sitting there, and I'm just thinking to myself,
what does he say to you when you say that?
He said, stop eavesdropping on the conversation. And I said, I can't hear your conversation. I just heard what you just said because you spoke up. And don't talk to her like that. You know what I mean? So she like turns around, finally looks at me because she hasn't been facing me the entire time after 20
Was she
minutes.
like, ugh?
So then the bartender goes, and they I don't know if they were checking their tab or whatever the deal was to see if they cashed out or if they were looking to see how much they drank. I don't know, but like 2 or 3 of them huddle up near the cash register. And now he's really going at it with her. So the one guy goes, all right, look, he said, you need to cash out now. You need to get the hell out of here. And he's like, I already gave you my card. And they checked. And apparently he paid for an initial check maybe an hour ago, but they had kept piling on the drinks afterwards. So now they're on tab number 2.
All right.
So it gets to the point where he's like, and this guy over here, he's trying to get involved in the conversation. And I took my hat off, and I took my glasses off, and I get up and I take my jacket off, and I'm like, I'm going to knock this. I'm going to jail right now. I'm going to kill this flat brim hat wearing mother. I'm going to knock him out, California guy. So he stands up and immediately takes out his wallet, and he starts throwing money at the bartenders, crumbling up money and throwing it at.
Why did she want to break up with this guy? I'm just not tracking.
That's how he's going to pay for his tab, I'm guessing, by throwing money.
Yeah.
So he's that guy. So he throws a 20 at me. Of course, I snatch it and give it to the bar, like, here.
I'd have kept it. You kidding me?
And I'm thinking to myself, and I have another guy, my buddy, holding me back, kind of like, all right, you're not gonna go to jail right now. And eventually they came over, and the manager's like, you need to leave now. And she's like, I told you if you didn't shut up. Blah, 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 blah. So this whole thing goes out, and they get escorted outside. And I'll be damned if they just didn't stand there, like in the doorway, and continue this conversation.
What kind? Is it like a bar? Like a bar and restaurant?
For another 10, 15 minutes. They just, and you could still hear them. Like everybody in there could still hear them outside because the doors are open. It's a sunny day. So then eventually another person has to go out there, like one of the cooks, a big dude, and say, you guys need to get out of here. You need to leave. Like, get out of here. Like, go somewhere else.
You know it's bad when they grab the cooks.
Walk down the road. I'm like, oh, my God. Like, this guy was a large man.
Yeah.
He's making very good chicken wings. He's going to kill you. So I'm just like, oh, my God. But I swear to God, it took me like 15 minutes to calm down after that because I was so pumped up and ready to just jump this guy. It took a while for my adrenaline to kind of go down. So I'm like, I'll take another double.
Yeah.
I need to calm the hell. I need to calm the hell down, man. And then I took another double, and they were still out there. And I'm like, I'm just going to walk out there and knock this guy out and shut him up. I did not do any of those things.
That's the right call.
Yeah, it was the right call. But he kind of squared up on me, and I was like, oh, man, like, I'm going to drop you. I'm going to knock you the hell. I'm just so mad right now. There's no way you can beat my ass. You know what I mean? I'm just pure anger based on the conversation you had.
I remember feeling that once, and then damn near getting my nose broken.
Oh,
I am so mad. Pal, Jesus Christ.
Trust me.
I'm not that mad anymore.
I've lost more fights than I've been in.
Yeah.
But I still had the confidence.
Right. That's the thing. You're so confident. You're so mad.
I'm going to kill him.
God, Jesus. Oh, man.
That little guy's got a hell of a ride.
He's fast.
What did someone do to get banned, fired, or kicked out? 206-8.
At Metro, get an iPhone 12 with 5G and a dual camera system for $99.99. Take amazing pictures and share them instantly. And don't put up with life's yada yada. Yada yada. Like photo bombers. Zoom, crop out, yada yada. And bye.
You don't take yada yada in life, don't take yada yada from your wireless provider. Get iPhone 12 with 5G with no activation fees and nada yada yada. Only at Metro by T-Mobile. Switch to Metro, bring your ID. This offer isn't available for customers currently at T-Mobile or that have been with Metro in the past 180 days.
For those in the market for flavor, there's Modelo Spiked Aguas Frescas, a flavorful drink that's a modern twist on a Mexican street classic with 4 vibrant and refreshing flavors. Pineapple, watermelon, hibiscus, and cucumber lime, made with a splash of real fruit juice. Modelo Spiked Aguas Frescas are perfect for any fiesta, small or big. Modelo Spiked Aguas Frescas, boldly authentic, vibrantly flavorful. Drink responsibly. Modelo Spiked Aguas Frescas flavored beers imported by Crown Imports, Chicago, Illinois. Hibiscus contains juice only for color.
eBay Motors is here for the ride. Remember when you first saw the potential? And then through some elbow grease, fresh installs, and a whole lot of love, you transformed 100,000 miles and a body full of rust into a drive that's all your own. Look to your left. Look to your right. It's official. No one's got a ride like this. There's nothing else that sounds like, feels like, or looks like the set of wheels in your garage. With over 122 million parts, you can make sure your number one ride or die stays running smoothly, so there's no limit to how far you can take it. Brake kits, turbochargers, engines, exhaust kits, roof racks, LED headlights, bumpers, whatever your baby needs, eBay Motors has it. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, it's guaranteed to fit your ride the first time, every time, or your money back. Plus, at these prices, well, you're burning rubber, not cash. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Meet the Bed by Thuma, the perfect platform bed frame. Thoughtfully handcrafted from upcycled wood, the bed is strong, backed by a lifetime warranty, and ships directly to your door. Assembly takes 5 minutes, no tools needed. To get $25 towards the bed, go to thuma.co. That's THUMA.co to receive $25 off your purchase of the bed. Shop the bed at thuma.co.
103 Rock.
99.9 KISW. The shenanigans continue. This is the Men's Room with Miles and Thrill.
Our question, what did someone do to get banned, fired, or kicked out? 206-803-ROCK.
Hello, Dave. Welcome to the Men's Room.
Hola.
Hola.
Okay, I got a triple play for you. My wife and I go out a fair amount around Seattle. So the first story is we went on a boat party on Lake Union. And midway through the boat party, some girl drank way too much. She was puking in a garbage can. And so they actually had to pull the boat over and let her off the boat. So she got kicked off for drinking too much.
I mean, that's a bonus to it being in Lake Union. Because it's small.
You can get her ass off the boat, yeah.
Yeah, so we pulled up. The captain said, hey, we got to pull over. We got to get this girl off the boat. So there was EMS waiting for her. So
Jesus.
The second story, after we went to the boat party, we got off at like 11:30, and we went to Cowgirls in downtown Seattle.
Yep.
And as we were waiting in line, the bouncers tossed some guy out who drank too much, and they pepper sprayed him, I guess, because he was laying on the curb just crying, and people were stepping over him.
It's always a good look.
So that's the second story. So after Cowgirls closes at 2, and so we went down the street to the Monkey Loft because they're open till 4. And at Monkey Loft, some girl was on something, and she was dancing next to us, and her shirt fell open, and my wife closed it because it was hung up on her piercing. and then she started dancing on this pole, licking the pole. And security said, all right, you got to go. So in one night, we went to 3 different places and watched 3 different people get kicked out.
Damn.
I mean, the boat's a little crazy. Nothing against Cowgirls. I don't know. I've seen more. That's like if I'm going to see somebody get thrown out, it's that bar.
I'll say, how much do you have to drink to get thrown out of there? You know what I mean?
I think people just can't handle it. It's it's going to be a younger crowd
for sure.
Yep.
B, they get up and dance on the stage, and it's like people cannot handle it. Right? I've seen people smack a girl in the butt, get thrown out.
Get thrown out.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just saying it's nothing that they're doing. I just feel like I don't know what it is.
It's like going to Vegas. You know, people just kind of lose their sense.
As soon as you walk in, there's a huge testosterone level.
Oh yeah, goes right to the roof. Hey Dave, let me ask you this: you said the one girl's dancing and her shirt flies up, it got hung up on her piercing, and your wife closed her shirt. Were you upset that your wife closed her shirt?
A little bit, to be honest, a little bit.
I feel it because I'm thinking babe, just let her be.
Dave, have you ever been kicked out or banned from anywhere?
No, I haven't. I mean, I'm 53, my wife's 52, and we party responsibly, but we get to see a lot of crazy people. I mean, don't get me wrong, we drink a lot, but we don't ever go that far.
But never in your life. Not 21-year-old Dave.
No,
never been banned anywhere.
No,
okay.
No, I'm a pretty responsible drunk.
All right. Okay.
I mean, hey, shout out. I'm happy you made it down the Monkey Loft, man.
I'll tell you what. I want to get you a coffee mug that says "responsible drunk."
Right on. I'm down. Let's do it.
That's what I'm saying. It's that number one dad and all that crap. You know, something that's worthwhile. Responsible drunk. Man, most of the times I've been kicked out are probably 40s and 50s, You know, I mean, in my 20s, I mean, you rage a lot harder. You go absolutely mad, just like anyone in the 20s, but I don't recall really getting booted out of places.
Okay.
You know, but somehow in my 40s and 50s, I have been kicked out of multiple places, whether a hotel in Sacramento.
That's right.
A bar that shall remain nameless.
They were decent.
Locally.
They were decent in Sacramento, though. They let you spend the night, and then they waited till the morning.
Yeah, like I said, it's weird to get. And here's the thing, I'm blacked out drunk, so I have no idea what happened. Just the phone in the room rings, which to me is never a good sign. I'm just like, okay, so I pick it up and like, hello, is this Mr. Hill? So yeah, hi, this is the general manager. Could you come down and meet me this morning? So now I'm just like,
GM.
Oh, it was the GM dude. So I'm just like,
insane.
Oh no. And again, I have no idea what the hell has happened. So I said, look, give me like 30 minutes, man, because I got to like shower and get a cup of coffee. I'm feeling rough. They're like, hey, take your time. They were very cordial. And I went down, pulled me into this private room. She was very kind. I think she was waiting for me to like freak out on her, but I wasn't at all. I just said, well, what happened? She goes, sir, I don't know the entirety of it, but I do know that it was a rather large disturbance. I just said, all right, man, I can live with that. Whatever you say I did, I probably did. I don't remember. I said, do I need to stay at a different hotel? She goes, I think that would be best. Okay. No problem.
Yeah.
At least not for me. Then I had to call the wife and say, hey, babe, can you grab American Express? You got to book me at a different hotel. What's wrong with the hotel you're at? So there's nothing wrong with the hotel I'm at. I've been kicked out. Like, why? I said, I don't know. I mean, I'm blackout drunk. I didn't do anything good. I can tell you that. So, but I said, look, man.
I heard that one. I like that one.
Yeah, I was like, I don't know. You know, but I have to believe them. And it doesn't sound like something out of character for me. I'm just saying I can't remember. I was blacked out drunk. She was not super pleased, but I stayed at a different hotel. That was the worst part. You know what I mean? It's almost like when, the cops pull you over as a kid. We could take you to jail or take you to your parents. And the idea of facing your parents, with the cops behind you, is terrifying. I'm just looking at my phone like, I'm going to have to call my wife. And I got to be honest about this. Yeah, so she was mad, but she couldn't get super mad because I had no story to tell her. I'm like, babe, look, I don't know, man. Well, how much did you drink? Enough that I don't remember what the hell happened last night, and it was bad enough that I got kicked out of the hotel. That's all I can tell you. I really don't know. She was not pleased, but I'm like, sorry.
I've been kicked out of places, but I've never been. As far as being banned, the one that still burns me the most is when we were in Baltimore. There was a takeout place, man, and they had great pizza. They had subs, hot subs, grinders, gyros. And it was a who's who of all the delivery food that you would want, and I typically would order from there maybe a couple times a week, definitely on the weekend watching NFL football.
Yeah.
Or on a lazy Saturday.
Sure.
Get a pizza, get a cheesesteak, get whatever you want. Mount Washington pizza. So I put in an order, and the order is like $24, okay? So all I have is a $50.
All right.
And at that time, I did not have enough money in my checking account to actually cover the $23.
Okay.
I had cash. That was all I had. I had like 3 50s. That was my money, and I needed it until payday.
Who gives out 50s?
I had 50s. I don't know.
I mean, you get a $100 bill before you get a 50.
I had 4 $50.
It's a different time.
I guess.
It was. It was weird. So I ordered the food. The food's $23. The guy shows up, and I'm like, here's $50. He's like, I don't have any change. And I'm like, well, this is.
How does he not have change?
That's like double the tip on the, it's $23. It's a $50 bill, man. I was like, can you just come back, man, when you're in the area? I'm going to be here all, afternoon or whatever the deal is. Just bring me my change, man, and I'll tip you out of that. He's like, no, man, can't do it. And I'm like, so I'm going to give you $50 for $23 worth of food. He's like, you're either going to give me that money or I'm going to take the food back. And I'm like, Jesus, God, all right. So, I'm like, take the food back. I'm like one of those guys.
Well, I'm not going to give him $50.
So I call Mount Washington Pizza. I'm like, you're not going to believe this. Your driver just came here. And at the time, the drivers were the drivers who worked there, who made the food too and everything else. It wasn't like DoorDash or any of that crap. So I call up and they're like, you are banned. And I'm like, I have a $50 bill. You just someone need to bring me back change, man. And I'll tip the guy out. Like, no, you are forever banned from Mount Washington Pizza. And
you were forever banned for that.
I was forever banned for that. So then, of course...
is there more to the story that we're not hearing?
No. I swear to you.
I slashed his tires.
I swear
punched him in the ribs.
I didn't say anything. I just said, hey, I was trying to be as convenient as I could.
Sure.
You're in this area. You're going to drive by this road. You can stop and bring me the change. I trust you with a 50.
Yeah, I'm giving you 50. I'm trusting
you. Just bring me back the change. Not a big deal. He's like, no. So I called up and told him, you're banned. So a week goes by, and I'm like, so now my girlfriend's over, and so we want to order food. So she puts it in this long order, and he's like, all right, what's your phone number? She gives the phone number. All right, what's your address? Puts in my address. Oh, no, that address is bad. I mean, like, she was on the phone for like 5 minutes. And she's like, all right, can I just come and just, can we come and pick the food up? He's like, no, you're banned. You can't even, I couldn't even go there and get the food. Because I even tried, I was like, look, man, I said, even at the time when I called him right after that, after the incident, I said, I will drive to your location. I will hand you the $50. I want my food, and then could you give me the change, and then I will tip the driver accordingly. No, you can no longer come in. You are banned. And I'm like, damn it. Like, this is like my one to go place. This is the place that I can count on when I'm effed up and I just want to get some food delivered to my house. And I couldn't figure out what the fury was. I couldn't figure out.
Did you ever piece together exactly what made them so angry?
The guy was just mad at me because he wanted me to give him the whole money and just say, keep the change or whatever.
No.
I'm like, dude, you don't understand. Like, that's double the cost of the order, and I need the money because I don't have enough in my checking account to even write you a check.
Right.
So, yes, trust me, I need every one of these dollars. I'll give you $5 on a $23 order, whatever, $6, but like I'm not giving you the rest of the money, man. I'm not giving you $37 as a tip.
But who does delivery and doesn't bring change? You know what I mean? Just like I had a cab in Baltimore. Did not get to that level, but the guy, I don't remember what I had. Say I had a 20 and maybe, I don't know, $8 ride or something like that. But say he's like, oh, I can't make change. I said, then you just gave me a ride for free. And we sat there silent for about 15 seconds. What do you know? We had change. Amazingly.
Yeah, I mean, back in the day when
change.
I took cabs, there was a couple
dude.
of those experiences where it's like,
then you gave me a free ride, and I appreciate that.
Yeah.
But I bet you have change when I mentioned I'm about to step out of your cab and not pay you. And then all of a sudden, what do you know? They reach into the wallet, boom, presto. I've got change.
God, that pissed me off.
Well, it's ridiculous.
It was, too.
One, don't not have change if you're doing delivery. I would assume that happens probably 80% of the time, especially back then. Before you said pre-DoorDash, not everyone's ordering thing on credit cards. It's, most of the time, it was a cash transaction. I never had a delivery guy that could not make change.
So 3 weeks.
I mean, Miles, I know this hurts, but to their credit, whether they're right or wrong, obviously the band worked that you're still talking about.
I know.
All right. Oh, yeah.
They knew they got you.
Oh, yeah.
They were like, oh, this guy.
Yeah.
How can we screw him over that he'll be pissed for years?
I don't think they had caller ID. I really don't. Because, so 3 weeks later. So I'm like, the hell with it. I'm going to stop by. I'm just going to get some food. Right. That's it, man. So
you're that determined to get food for me.
Well, because it was close. It's pizza. The pizza was really good. I could also get a Philly cheesesteak. Like, if I went there, I had food for the next day.
Right.
I mean, it's like I was talking on the East Coast. Like a lot of places we would get sandwiches for Chinese joints. This one's just Indian and then pizza on the side.
Flip the menu over and you get pizza.
And the fries were great. Like, everything was great. So I'm like, all right, I am going to go. I'm going to put my order in. Pizza, fries, cheesesteak, whatever it was, a gyro. Baklava, by the way, which was fantastic.
Ooh,
yeah. Anyway, so I call in the order for pickup, right? Okay. So I'm like, all right, I got this. So I walk in the door. This place is it's like a shopping mall. And when you see it from the front, it's one story. But if you go around to the back, it drops down, and there's a backside with 2 stories. All right, and down the bottom is Mount Washington Pizza. So I pull around, I pull right in front of the door, I walk in, and the first guy that I see is the guy that came and brought my food, who delivered the food for me. And he looks at me and goes, out, you are banned. And I'm like, I can't even get it to go. And he's like, out now. And he takes off his bib, like he puts it over his head.
Like he's going to beat your ass.
He unties it, man. He starts walking around the corner, out, you out. And I'm just like, damn it. You got to be kidding me, man. I couldn't even go in and pick food up.
I was that you recognize. No.
Oh, yeah. No, he's like, no, you out now. Banned. And I'm like, oh, my God in heaven. Like, I can't even, like, I got money.
Then, do you have change?
The food was on the counter. You've already made it. Like, I can see the order. You know what I mean? Like, I called it in.
Damn, man.
25 minutes ago.
I mean, there's been times I've been asked politely to leave a bar. Usually in our 20s. But I don't know that I've been banned from somewhere.
No, I'm pretty sure that's the only place.
I guess maybe the Raven Stadium. As Bernard and I, after a Orioles game, tried to, like, he hopped the fence and went down to the field to grab grass. And then when he came out, the little, whatever whatever cops they are, or 2-5ers. I don't even know if they're real cops.
Security guard, I guess.
Yeah, they like wrote it down and they were like, you guys can't come back here for a year. I mean, we weren't Ravens fans. So we were like,
okay.
Yeah, like big deal. I think nowadays that'd be a bigger issue. Is they probably, everything's on your phone.
Oh, guaranteed.
So they
know
probably
who you
know
are now.
exactly. But I guess technically we were banned for a year.
I mean, I've been banned from one spot at a bar that's even hard to get kicked out of. But, yeah, I got the ban on that one, man. And then somebody had a birthday party there, one of our coworkers, maybe 6 months after the ban. And again, it's right behind my house. So, like, well, come to the party. I'm like, all right, man. So I basically had to sneak in, and I kind of sat behind a plant and the more restaurant side than the bar side. And no one, if I walked into the bar, I knew they'd throw me out instantly.
I will
so
say,
I'm sitting there like tucked between two plants at this table so that no one could see me. So it was hard to have a good time. Everyone's laughing and we're drinking and all that, but the whole time I'm just, my head's on a swivel.
Like when I was a bartender, I banned one dude just because he also lived in my neighborhood and he had done some work with my dad, like around the, you know what I mean? Like he was your typical neighborhood handyman.
Okay.
So it would just, who knows? I don't know what drugs he was into, blah, blah, blah. But he still owed my dad some money and like made a thing about it to the point of like, I was like 19. And I remember him knocking on the door and being like confrontational. So then one time when I'm bartending, he was one of those guys that would throw around like a dollar bill, like it was some great thing.
Thanks.
And he ordered a Black Russian. So I gave him a Black Russian. Now, if you know anything about how drinks are made, Black Russian doesn't have cream in it. It's not a White Russian. It's smaller.
Right.
And he's going on and on. So I said, all right, screw it. Just took the drink away. So he's like, oh, blah, blah, blah. I was like, oh, whatever. But he forgets that I know him personally from other experiences. But yeah, he would come in like every 3 months. And I would just either, even if I was at the end of the bar, you know, I'd be like, Thrill. Him out. So like if you ban somebody, like that guy recognized your face. Like I get it because I've kind of been on the other side. It was like I hated that guy so much. Right? It was like we would always throw him out
now. But I'm just picking up the food, man. Bib comes over the top. I'm like, this guy's going to physically remove me from the Mount Washington Tavern.
Smaller bills, Miles.
Pizza, whatever the hell it was. What did someone do to get banned, fired, or kicked out? 206-803-ROCK.
Without the ones like you, who work tirelessly to keep things running, everything would suddenly stop. Hospitals, factories, schools, and power plants, they all depend on you. No matter the weather, emergency, or time of day, you're the ones who get it done. At Grainger, we're here for you with professional-grade industrial supplies. Count on real-time product availability and fast delivery. Call, clickgrainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
At Metro, get an iPhone 12 with 5G and a dual camera system for $99.99. Take amazing pictures and share them instantly. And don't put up with life's yada yada.
Yada yada.
Like photo bombers. Zoom, crop out,
Yada yada.
and bye.
You don't take yada yada in life, don't take yada yada from your wireless provider. Get iPhone 12 with 5G with no activation fees and nada yada yada. Only at Metro by T-Mobile. Switch to Metro, bring your ID. This offer isn't available for customers currently at T-Mobile or that have been with Metro in the past 180 days.
For those in the market for flavor, there's Modelo Spiked Aguas Frescas, a flavorful drink that's a modern twist on a Mexican street classic with 4 vibrant and refreshing flavors. Pineapple, watermelon, hibiscus, and cucumber lime, made with a splash of real fruit juice. Modelo Spiked Aguas Frescas are perfect for any fiesta, small or big. Modelo Spiked Aguas Frescas, boldly authentic, vibrantly flavorful. Drink responsibly. Modelo Spiked Aguas Frescas flavored beers imported by Crown Imports, Chicago, Illinois. Hibiscus contains juice only for color.
Without the ones like you, who work tirelessly to keep things running, everything would suddenly stop. Hospitals, factories, schools, and power plants, they all depend on you. No matter the weather, emergency, or time of day, you're the ones who get it done. At Grainger, we're here for you with professional-grade industrial supplies. Count on real-time product availability and fast delivery. Call, clickgrainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
I'm Sandra, and I'm just the professional your small business was looking for. But you didn't hire me because you didn't use LinkedIn Jobs. LinkedIn has professionals you can't find anywhere else, including those who aren't actively looking for a new job, but might be open to the perfect role, like me.
In a given month, over 70% of LinkedIn users don't visit other leading job sites. So if you're not looking on LinkedIn, you'll miss out on great candidates like Sandra. Start hiring professionals like a professional. Post your free job on linkedin.com/recommend today.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Whether you love true crime or comedy, celebrity interviews or news, You call the shots on what's in your podcast queue. And guess what? Now you can call them on your auto insurance too with the Name Your Price tool from Progressive. It works just the way it sounds. You tell Progressive how much you want to pay for car insurance, and they'll show you coverage options that fit your budget. Get your quote today at Progressive.com to join the over 28 million drivers who trust Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
What's up?
Well, it's what's down that's got my attention.
Oh?
Yeah, look at that long snake.
Snake? Oh, traffic. Those are cars.
I know they're cars. I'm being metaphorical. If I were a human, I'd ride that Bel Air airport or shuttle. Look at it. It gets you to SeaTac quickly. You can sleep, look out the window, be productive, and it's in the HOV. Hey, maybe it stands for heading on vacation.
Bel Air Airport or Shuttle with 8 round trips daily. Click airporter.com to book your trip today.
What's up? It's your boy, the Ted Smith from the Men's Room. And did you know I have a podcast? Well, I do. The Podcast. New episodes uploaded every Wednesday on the Odyssey app.
99.9 KISW. We return to the Men's Room with Miles and Thrill.
So I took a whiff. I didn't smell anything.
He's wrong.
She was right there. What did someone do to get banned, fired, or kicked out? 206-803-ROCK.
Hello, John. Welcome to the Men's Room.
Hola.
Hola.
Well, I got fired.
You got fired. Why'd you get fired?
Well, because I worked at a national hardware retailer, a depot of sorts, let's say.
I will never figure that. I hate when people are this mysterious.
Where they have stuff for your home?
Cryptic, I know. And we have this policy where someone's shoplifting, you can't really do anything, you can't touch them, you can't stop them, you know. And if they make it to the park, out the door, into the parking lot, then it's totally off limits, can't do nothing.
So if you can't do anything when they're in the store, and you certainly can't do anything when they're out of the store, what would prevent me from going in there and shoplifting?
Not a darn thing. And so, you know, you take it personal after a while. People just grabbing buckets, tossing everything they can in the bucket, walking right out the door with impunity.
Well, I mean, if store policies, we can't do anything, basically what you're saying is, please come here and steal our crap.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, exactly. So one guy wanted me to open a cage for him because we have one of the most expensive tool we have, which is Milwaukee cordless concrete saw.
All right.
$5,000.
Damn.
Yep, and then, of course, he tried to make a break for it, and I felt it was kind of shady. And so I step in front of him, grab the box, we wrestle back and forth a little bit. He lets go of it. I try to trip him on his way out. And security ran up, but he was already outside, so they just told him to leave and don't come back. And I got fired.
Because you wrestled with the guy to protect the merchandise.
Correct. $5,000. I mean, I thought I was a hero. I thought I'd get like a free lunch or something. You know?
Yeah.
So, I mean, was it instant? Basically, hey, come back to the office, get out of here?
No, it was like a week of back and forth HR emails and junk like that.
That's a dumb rule.
It is a dumb rule.
It's a stupid rule.
I mean, why?
Well, and so being irate when I got fired, this is in Everett, and outside the depot, there's like always like a couple guys standing around looking for work.
Yeah, of course.
And then there's this large encampment of people who are just there, just doing drugs and stealing from Home Depot.
Well, the problem with it is that whole law is kind of killed downtown. So I realize
but is it a law or is it store policy? Because if you go to 7-Eleven, they'll punch you in the face if they've asked you to leave and you're not going to.
I think that's policy there, maybe. Like, hey, look, guard your receipt.
Or they'll pull out their gun or hit you with a golf club, which is called the New York City way.
Yeah, I realize Bartell was bought, but one of the reasons that our locations are shutting down across the area is because people were walking in and just walking out with whatever they wanted.
But it was stupid when you hear them say, like, well, man, you know, the shoplifting's gone through the roof. And you go, like, wait, but you instilled a policy that says you're not going to do anything about it. So, especially downtown in any major city, I would think if the message is out, hey, they can't really stop you from shoplifting, people are going to shoplift. Yeah. If you said, I mean, it's like the movie The Purge. If there's no punishment for the thing that you'd ordinarily not want people to do, people are going to do exactly that.
So you can't get it. So
that's why we have police, because you know people are going to do things.
You order it instead because the brick and mortar is shut down. They steal it off your porch.
Mm-hmm.
So it's
It's amazing. One thing I liked about New York City, man, this is years ago, but it's the first time I went to Manhattan, and I mean, there are shops everywhere. Big shops, small shops, you name it. But all of the individual, like the mom and pop shops, basically security was an old dude was sitting on a milk crate in front and he had a golf club. And you just understood, man. If you walk out of there trying to steal something or start something, they're going to beat you to death with a golf club. And honest to God, I thought that was the most effective security strategy. Not that I'm out to like steal things, but I thought you can have a security guard, maybe outrun them. These guys make it clear we will assault you with a golf club. If you grab a Snickers bar, they're taking that thing to your kneecaps, you know. And I'm just like, there's not a lot of problems with that. But now I want to say like Target, they tell you don't chase people down. I know the grocery store by us, Ted. I know.
So why even have security?
That's what I don't get.
Why
have
have
security guards standing there?
I mean, you could stop them. Like, I've seen it at the grocery store by us, which, granted, I came from Capitol Hill. I'm like, that thing's fine.
Yeah, right.
But I've seen them, like, they don't touch them. They just kind of go, just empty your pockets.
Right.
You know what I mean? And, like, sometimes it's amazing how dumb they are because they're just like, I didn't take anything. Just like, what's in your right pocket? And they'll, pull it out. But you're right. I mean, you could, in theory, you could just walk out. They're not going to do anything. So, I mean, I've seen them stop people a couple times.
Sure.
But
like when we're in self-checkout, and I understand, right? There's security guards standing there, and I get why they're there, but I'm like, but the flip side of it is, say I bag all this stuff up and you watch me not pay. If you're not going to do anything about it, what's to stop me from doing it other than just morally not wanting to do that? But I go and get $300 worth of groceries. You're not going to do it. That's so stupid to me. I think if I owned a store, I'd be like, if someone is shoplifting, grab a golf club and beat their ass. No questions asked.
What'd you hit there?
I mean, self-checkout, honestly, I'm amazed they're still around.
Why?
Oh, forget the policy in this city. Like, they just lose money.
On self-checkout?
Oh, constantly.
People
even just people like me forgetting sometimes.
Right.
Or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, my buddy did it. I mean, just think of door logs. We just forgot to scan it because it was at the bottom of the cart. So just like, the idea was you'll save costs by not hiring as many people.
Yeah.
But a lot of them ended up losing money. So I'm kind of shocked it's still such a popular idea.
Does Costco still check the receipt? I haven't been there in 10 years.
Oh, yeah.
Because they were pretty thorough. That's one thing I remember, man. If you bought 400 things, I mean, you stood there and that guy would check each
Costco,
freaking thing.
some Freddy's, dude.
I think Walmart started doing it.
I think Walmart started doing it.
Okay.
What did someone do to get banned, fired, or kicked out? 206-803-ROCK.
Hello, Mark. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola, bicholas.
Hola.
I am banned from City Walk and Universal Studios for life.
What'd you do, man?
Well, it's one of those great 15-minute stories, but I'll give you the rundown real quick. 4 of us drove from Michigan down there, stayed in a timeshare that one of our buddies' parents had, and we were all 21. The first night we partied for New Year's, and this was the day after New Year's. And we're drinking, hanging out. We go down to City Walk. It's at a certain time, it's all bars, and you have to be 21 up to be there.
City Walk, Orlando, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Just making sure.
Yeah.
I've never been there. I've been there, but I don't remember City Walk.
I think that's what it's called. I mean, I was drinking going into it, but it's 21 and up, and me and one buddy took a tab and separated from the other 2, and we were kind of bar hopping through the different, they have like a karaoke, they got the Jimmy Buffett or whatever.
Of course.
And we're just chilling on our vibe, and we're walking into this one place. It's getting kind of late, and there's 2 guys kind of arguing and a bunch of cops around, and I make the comment, look at those idiots, they're going to fight, and there's 10 cops standing around. Well, we go in this place. It's got a dance floor on one side, and the other side is the bartender's kind of closing up. It might seat like 25, 30 people. They got a TV on. We're watching a college football game and drinking 151 drinks.
That'll get it done.
Drink.
Yeah, definitely get it done.
And this guy pokes his head in and starts talking to us about the football game going on. And we're like, it was Michigan State, and we're from Michigan. So we're like, well, we actually like this team. And I look over, and he's wearing all LSU gear, and Purdue just beat LSU in their bowl game. And he's like, F the Big Ten, this and that. I'm like, whatever, man. So we have a couple more drinks, walk out of the bar, and we're heading home. And we get about 10, 15 steps out of the bar, and I hear the guy chirping again. And after a couple 151 drinks, it's like, all right, it's on. So I was like, what'd you say? You want to come say it to my face? He comes over, and we talk a little bit. I totally forgot about all the cops standing around. And finally I end it, and I go, hey, man, are you going to hit me or what? And he does, and I hit him back. And the adrenaline's pumping, so I black out for a couple of seconds. And I come to, and cop shining his lights in my eye going, are you on drugs? I mean, I said no, but I was.
Well,
I looked down and
the answer is going to be no whether you are or not, yeah.
Oh, is that what you said earlier? You took a tab?
Yeah, tab. Yeah.
I can't believe you got in a fight on LSD.
Well, the 151 took over at that point.
I was like, that would be weird.
Yeah,
151 greater than acid.
Now we know.
Oh, alcohol will override any drug you're on.
Okay.
It did, and I looked down, and my pants are bleeding. My pants have blood on them, and my nose hurts, and I'm like, God, he got me in the nose. And I go, officer, I didn't hit him, and I need a Kleenex or a paper towel for my nose. He laughs, hands me one. I wipe my nose. There's nothing on my nose. My knuckles are bleeding. I'm like, oh boy, I just told him I didn't hit him. So, end of the day, they ended up making me sign something that said, if you ever come back, you'll get arrested for trespassing.
And you never stepped foot in Universal Studios. This is kind of like outside of that area, right?
Yeah, it's like a bunch of bar area. Just it's part of the park, but it's not the ride area.
Right. Not where the kids are.
It's like downtown Disney. You don't need. Right. You could just go to downtown Disney. You don't need like a ticket or anything. And they used to have something like City Walk. I can't remember the name of it, but same thing. It was like some Pleasure Island.
Pleasure Island, okay.
So it was like you got wristbands, and it was like 18 to get on, 21 to drink. But same thing, it's all enclosed, but they have all different bars and nightclubs. There's a comedy club.
Exactly.
Right, so City Walk, I imagine, at Universal's the same exact thing.
Let me ask you this, man. So you get banned from Universal Studios, which impressive, by the way. Do you care? I mean, is this really going to affect your life in any way?
No, it's the greatest story. It's the story I tell all the time. Like, I live here now in Washington. I'll never go back.
Right. Hey, well, let me ask you this.
One of those funny things.
Did you ever find out what you did to this guy?
I had teeth marks in both of my knuckles, so my buddy was there, and he got tackled by the cops and was pissed about me for not doing anything. He said the dude swung on me, and then I hit him with the 1-2, and then we got separated and tackled by all the cops immediately.
Well, it sounds like you connected with one of the two, or both.
Both of them. Both of my knuckles are bleeding, so I got him with both of them.
I mean, that is kind of funny that it started with you being like, look at these two idiots getting in a fight in front of the cops. We start drinking 151 cocktails. I forget. I'm on acid. I get in a fight in front of the cops.
I'm one of these idiots. Having fun.
Right.
That happens to the best of them. Somebody here on the text line says, 4 of my 5 hockey buddies got banned from Disneyland for 5 years for hopping off the boats on a Pirates of the Caribbean ride to play with the treasure and mechanical characters.
Oh, wow.
That'll do it.
Wow.
I mean, if you're going to get booted, that's the way to do it, man.
Yeah.
Jump off the boat and start.
Yeah. No. What did someone do to get banned, fired, or kicked out? 206-803-ROCK.
Real quick, I will say, wasn't the last time I was in Disney World, so maybe it's 2000, whatever. I had been living in Seattle, right?
All right.
So again, we go to, I guess like downtown, whatever. There used to be this ESPN's. There's very few bars that stay open after like 9 p.m.
Sure.
In the kingdom. Me and my cousins find one. We're all sitting there. We're getting hammered. And everybody that works at the park, who's a cast member, says where they're from.
Okay.
So one bartender walks by, and his tag says Seattle. And I go, hey, man, 2 questions for you. I see you're from Seattle. And he goes, number 1, there's no weed in Disney World. I go, all right, number 2, what time's last call? And he's like, you got time for a few more drinks? But I mean, he just cut me off.
Right.
That tells me he's been asked that a lot.
Yeah, last time I almost got thrown out of something, obviously, or seriously, it was just in January, the night before the national title. It's a bunch of people. We had already kind of got on the floor without the right thing for that John Party concert. And then it's a bunch of people from Seattle. Everybody's got a vape pen.
Right.
And the guy just walks over. He's like, you got to at least get into the crowd. And he's like, I'm not, and like my buddy, without even thinking, and he's like, no, seriously, I will throw you out if you do it again. Just walk forward.
Right. Please.
Right. We're like, oh, we're from Seattle. He's like, right, but you're in Texas.
Yeah. Much different, man.
What did someone do to get banned, fired, or kicked out? 206-803-ROCK.
Hello, Rob. Welcome to the men's room.
Liquor and whores.
Liquor and whores.
Hi, guys. So back in my Navy days, my buddy, a friend of mine on the boat, he was having a going-away party because he was transferring. So he got a suite at the Hyatt in downtown San Diego.
Nice.
And it was a big party. Oh, yeah. We're going up and down 4th Ave, tearing it up. And go back to the room, or the suite, I should say, and, the party continues. It gets to a point where it's quiet hours, and, we're all being too loud. So not once, not twice, but the third time, at about 4 o'clock in the morning, 2 big guys dressed in black suits, they come up, they say, hey, this is the third noise complaint we've got from this suite. You guys need to figure it out. Somebody needs to...
Hang on there. Your filthy mouth.
Bedroom colors, here are the 7 words you can't say on the radio.
I say, Rob.
Sucker.
Yeah, shocker, loud guy.
And please keep those words in mind when calling. Now back to the program.
All right, Rob, please continue.
I'm sorry.
You don't get a third warning. No more cursing.
One more of those and I'm kicking you off the air.
We're going to ban you.
Got it. So we were like, phooey.
There we go. Hey, attaboy.
So we get dimed out, and the security guard takes a picture of both of our IDs and then kindly escorts us downstairs, to which they called a cab for us. And we got sent back to base. No trouble, because he just dropped us off at the front gate. And if y'all have seen Naval Base San Diego, it is huge.
I have not seen. I've been to San Diego a few times. I don't know that I've ever seen a naval base.
Have you ever gone across the Coronado Bridge?
I have not.
Yeah. Now, let me ask you a question.
Okay.
Is it the one if you take a left, or is it the one if you take a right? So is it the south side or the north side of the base?
It's the south side, so we're on the water side.
They won't let you walk past there, so you can see it, but you can't really get too close to it past the walkway. It kind of stops.
No, yeah. So we get dropped off at the front gate. Me and my buddy, we realize that, oh no, it is a very far walk to our boat, because we are parked on the very last pier in, almost Mexico.
Right.
So that's a 2.5 mile stroll, and we are hammered. We get like 3/4 of the way there, and it's about 5 a.m. and guys are starting to trickle in on the weekend for the duty rotation. One of my, and we're like, oh my God, thank you. Can we please get a ride? So it saved us like another half mile of pain and suffering. But yeah, that was fun. The kicker to all of this is that 2 years later, my mom goes on vacation down to San Diego and is staying at the Hyatt.
Can you visit her?
No, I'm out of state. I'm on the East Coast of North Carolina, but she told me where she was going, all this other cool stuff, and I was like, oh, let me know when you get there. If they have any questions for you about your last name, I will gladly answer them. And she's like, what? What do you mean? I was like, I may have been escorted out of that hotel.
may have.
I like that.
Yeah, may have.
I may have been.
Yeah.
Good times.
So luckily I did not disrupt my mother's vacation, so all is well. And I think it was just a one-time deal of they just took my name and face for the record. But, yeah, I didn't get a ban. But I was politely escorted out by 2 very large security guards.
Okay.
Yeah, when they send the big boys, you know you're in
At
trouble.
4 a.m.
Yeah.
What did someone do to get banned, fired, or kicked out? 206-803-ROCK.
Hello, Jonathan. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola, bitch, hola.
Hola.
All right, I got another hotel story, and I think I could top this one. I work in San Diego at a large hotel group, and they offer me an opportunity in Portland.
What the hell goes on in San Diego? Are you the 2 people at the bar got kicked out? San Diego. Hotel San Diego. What's going on in San Diego? It's so sunny, so nice.
But his story does not involve Christmas trees, so
okay.
I take
It was lacking Christmas trees. I admit. I was hoping.
They would have been able to stay if it was the holiday.
Is this Kiefer Sutherland? What's going on?
Yeah, so they spend a lot of money for relocation. I move up to Portland. I take on this new role. I'm the new guy. I'm young. I like to mix my party favors. I take a lot of happy pills at the time. And we have our holiday party on the 20th floor of this hotel. So I'm on the patio, and I drop my phone 20 floors. And about an hour later, I figure out how to get down there and find my phone, and I get back upstairs. So after that, I'm walking around the room grabbing boobies. And I didn't realize it at the time, or at all, I should say. And I must have grabbed the HR lady's boobies, along with other people. So after I do that, they're drawing Christmas presents, and I do not win one. So I take the Christmas tree, and I throw it off the 20th floor of this hotel.
Jesus my God.
So, obviously, the night comes and goes, and I had the next couple of days off, and I shake off the hangover, and I go back to work on Monday or whatever, and I get called into the HR office, and they politely explain everything that I did.
Did you have any recollection of this?
Zero. I just remember when things went dark, and I remember when I had my last drink, and I did my last thing in the bathroom, and that's where the lights went out.
How mortifying is it when they explain all of this to you?
Well, I think we all been there at one degree or another, but your first thing is you're trying to stitch everything together and figure out what the hell happened. I did not have that ability. I was not able to remember anything. But needless to say, after a lengthy investigation, the new guy that just got sent to Portland, that barely just got a place to live, was terminated.
Can you believe they'd fire a man for that? You grab some boobs, throw a Christmas tree 20 stories down. Next thing you know, they don't want you back.
I thought this was America. I'm shocked they let him stay for the Christmas gift part.
I can't believe he found the phone and it didn't work.
Right, he's like, I'm grabbing boobies, grab the HR lady's boobs, and it's like, then they start giving out gifts. Like, how are you still there?
That kind of shocked me, too.
I was going to stop and ask him, but I was like, geez, this got to be a large man.
What did someone do to get banned, fired, or kicked out? 206-803-ROCK.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Whether you love true crime or comedy, celebrity interviews or news, you call the shots on what's in your podcast queue. And guess what? Now you can call them on your auto insurance, too, with the Name Your Price tool from Progressive. It works just the way it sounds. You tell Progressive how much you want to pay for car insurance, and they'll show you coverage options that fit your budget. Get your quote today at Progressive.com to join the over 28 million drivers who trust Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
Looking for a job is lonely. Endless searching, phone calls that go nowhere, applications that vanish into thin air. What if you could link with dozens of local companies who are hiring right now with just one connection? That's Express Employment Professionals. Find us at expresspros.com. One connection, endless opportunities, and no fees ever for job seekers. Express Employment Professionals. expresspros.com.
For those in the market for flavor, there's Modelo Spiked Aguas Frescas, a flavorful drink that's a modern twist on a Mexican street classic with 4 vibrant and refreshing flavors. Pineapple, watermelon, hibiscus, and cucumber lime, made with a splash of real fruit juice. Modelo Spiked Aguas Frescas are perfect for any fiesta, small or big. Modelo Spiked Aguas Frescas, boldly authentic, vibrantly flavorful. Drink responsibly. Modelo Spiked Aguas Frescas flavored beers imported by Crown Imports, Chicago, Illinois. Hibiscus contains juice only for color.
Meet the Bed by Thuma, the perfect platform bed frame. Thoughtfully handcrafted from upcycled wood, the bed is strong, backed by a lifetime warranty, and ships directly to your door. Assembly takes 5 minutes, no tools needed. To get $25 towards the bed, go to Thuma.co. That's THUMA.co to receive $25 off your purchase of the bed. Shop the bed at Thuma.co.
99.9 KISW. The Men's Room returns with Miles and Thrill.
Hopefully you've got a chance to try the new Men's Room IPA from Black Raven Brewing. Couple of extra locations there if you're not looking for it. On draft at Olaf's in Ballard.
Excellent.
If you are in Ballard, Mike's Chili Parlor, the legendary 100-year-old establishment right by the bridge. On draft. Petoskey's in Fremont. On draft.
I notice these things all have a certain thing in common here. Places you frequent.
Yes, the Pine Box on Capitol Hill. Say hi to Cynthia. They've got it on tap up there. Also, Edmund's Hero Ace Hardware and Grocer.
I love that. Hardware and grocer.
They got sandwiches, They've got grocery items. They have fresh produce. They have our beer. They have a saw, a lawnmower. They have it all in one location. Also, check KISW.com. Most of these Safeway locations in the area are also currently carrying the beer as well.
They're up on it.
And if you find a location that has the beer, do us a favor, snap a pic of it, and send that to the men's room at KISW.com, and we will spread the word with more locations of the Men's Room IPA from Black Raven.
Men's Room IPA.
Yes. Our question today, what did someone do to get banned, fired, or kicked out? 206-803-ROCK.
Real quick, Mike, what kind of soup are you eating? I'm trying to figure out what color that broth is.
Oh, chicken noodle, right?
No, it's kind of like a so it's a chicken broth base. The wife made it. It's got chickpeas in it. It's got potatoes in it. It's got a little bit of celery, I think, in there.
Is that gray, brown,
carrots.
or green? Like what color?
That's kind of the yellowish like soup look.
Yeah, it's got some kale in there too. Yeah,
I don't know, man.
It's healthy for me, Steve.
Oh, it looks healthy, brother.
You know
I just
had
to ask.
You know what? It doesn't have a whole lot of salt in it.
Aren't you happy?
That is the giant thing with soups, man. It's unreal. They don't have a ton of calories or anything. It's just the sodium content is wild.
Not Mike. Oh, no.
Mike's got to add salt.
A lot of it. Hello, Christian. Welcome to the Men's Room.
Hola.
Hola.
How you guys doing today?
Doing great, man. How are you, sir?
I'm doing good. So my story is about this job I had during the pandemic. I picked up this job doing like road shows for Costco's. So I'd go to like Costco's and do like sales demos for, all the old people who'd be there. Pretty boring job after a while. 12 hours standing there saying, hey, how you doing? And getting rejected 95% of the time.
12 hours? Each shift was 12 hours of doing this?
That's how long Costco's open, yeah.
Damn, okay.
And were you selling a variety of products or one thing in particular?
We had like 5 or 6 different products. We did like skincare. We had like massage guns, massage chairs.
Did you ever target anyone for skincare? Somebody walks by and you're just like, Jesus. Oh, you need this. Hey, man, seriously, let's talk.
We're not supposed to. But...
I know you're not supposed to. What I'm saying is, did you?
Yeah. You don't go to a 120-pound guy and ask him if he wants a Ozempic or whatever the hell.
Right, exactly.
Yes, I did.
Okay, yeah, of course.
So, the job got boring after a while. So what do you do when the job gets boring is, you start smoking weed at work, of course.
I would never do that.
So I had a little habit of like taking fives and having a little puff off the vape pen and like, blowing in the aisles and whatever. And one day I'm working with my coworker at the Costco and she's so bad, guys. Like little shorty, like well endowed. She's just my type, like so cute. And I'm trying to, put the moves on her and be all smooth and, I flirting and whatever. And I offer her a hit of my vape pen, just because that's what cool guys do. And she politely declined. I didn't hear anything about it until a couple days later. And my boss gave me a call. Like, hey, I heard you were smoking weed at work. Like, what? Me? So... she definitely snitched on me, basically.
Just your type.
The cutie, the hottie with the body snitched on me. And
I hope you said that to your boss. Did the hottie with the body say that to you? Hottie body.
Yeah. So he was like, yeah, I know you're talking about, maybe leaving soon. I think that why don't you just not come in tomorrow? You're done, basically. And that's the last time I, asked where I eat, basically. Like, you know what they say, don't trust. Don't trust. And stitches get stitches. And
well, I think that's a pretty good lesson to learn at whatever point in time.
It's hard to know, man. There's a restaurant I worked at years ago, and I got to hire the people that came in. And generally speaking, my experience with other people in the kitchen, like, if you're not on some kind of drug, we probably don't want you here. Like, everyone can come in and perform. Everyone gets their job done. Some guys, need some coke, get the energy. Other people smoked a lot of weed. So this guy, Bill, I hired, he was one of the local weed sales reps, we'll say. And I kind of recognized him. So we sit down for the interview. And he's very capable. He had everything you needed on the resume. But I said, hey, man, you saw weed, right? And he's like, I know. I said, no, listen to me. I said, because if you do, everyone in this kitchen is going to be your client. And essentially, you're hired. He got the job, worked with him for 2 years. This dude brought in weed constantly. The kitchen loved him. They'd fork over the dough. He's in there. We would smoke weed. Well, this one day, we had this big catering event coming up. It was a private wedding. So the restaurant's closed, but all the staff's there. It's all hands on deck kind of thing. And the one thing we would do is get really stoned before we start prepping because it's mundane, it's kind of high pressure, whatever. So
because you're making 30 of everything or whatever.
Every freaking thing, right? And it's monotonous. We get it. It's a lot of money, but still. So everyone gets really stoned, walk back in, and normally when everyone got stoned, we worked like clockwork. It's just dead silent in there. You just hear knives going up and down. Everyone gets their stuff done. Well, Bill, he brought in some special weed that day. I'm not sure what he did to it. So everyone's real high, but we're still getting the job done. But Bill walks around the corner to me and goes, hey, man, I think I messed up. I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, you told me to fillet the salmon. I'm like, well, yeah. He's like, just come and look at what I did. So I go, I don't even know how he pulled this off. I could not do this sober, but you have a whole salmon. Typically, you cut it in half lengthwise, remove the bones and all this kind of thing. I don't know what he was thinking. He skinned the entire salmon. But it was still whole. Like, none of the meat was messed up. Like I said, sober, this would be difficult to do. So it's a whole fish. It's just skinless. So it's now this really creepy-looking, Tim Burton-looking thing sitting on the cutting board. But as soon as we touched it, the meat started falling apart. So it's like, God damn it, man. So they ended up getting, what do you call it, ceviche. Oh. Some surprise ceviche. But I'm like, how did you do this? He's like, I don't know. So how long did it take you to pull this off, man? This is like you would have thought aliens came down like they do with the cows, right? Like, and they removed all the skin from the salmon. He's like, I don't know, man. He's like, I'm just really, really high. I don't know how I did it. I said, I'm impressed.
He just zoned out.
He did, but I'm saying it was so meticulous and so well done. I'm like, this had to take you like 45 minutes. For what normally would take about 10 minutes, you had to spend at least 45 minutes on this goddamn thing. He's like, I don't know, man. But as soon as we touched it, it fell apart, and I'm like, what do you know? They get ceviche. Thanks, Bill. So we told him, look, keep bringing weed in. Do not bring that particular kind of weed in, man. This was bad. It was bad.
What did someone do to get banned, fired, or kicked out? 206-803-ROCK.
Ceviche sounds nice, though.
It ended up being a very nice dish. It was just unexpected, Ted. Yeah. All the meat fell off. Hello, Manny. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola. What's up, bros?
Hola.
What's going on, man? So I am a part of this jiu-jitsu club, and we like to go out all the time, and I've been going to them for probably about like 4 or 5 years, maybe 4 years. And one of the times we went out for one of our head people's birthday, and night was going really, really good. It's out here in Birmingham. Night was going really, really good, and I was just being so casual and smooth, just drinking beers. And then I, for some reason, thought to pick it up with the alcohol consumption and started drinking heavier IPAs, which really led me over the course. But jokingly, we all thought it would be hilarious because I was doing it first, but I was pretending I was stealing all the hot sauce bottles on the table in the bar. And all of my teammates that are higher ranked than me started putting all the hot sauce bottles on other tables in my pocket. And I go to the bathroom. I forget about it. I go to the bathroom about 30 minutes later with all the hot sauces in my pocket. And I use the bathroom. I come out stumbling, and I ended up stumbling in front of one of the security guards. And the hot sauce bottle comes stumbling out in front of him. And he told me to empty out my pockets. And then I was like, because I was scared I was going to get caught for stealing these hot sauce bottles. But I was like, no, man, get away from me. I start walking away from him, and he grabbed my hand, and he X'd me out of the club, or X'd me out of the bar. It was like, you need to stop drinking for tonight. And I got upset about it. I started walking away, and the alcohol really kicked in where I felt like I was like a Superman for some reason. I dumped all the alcohol bottles, and I went back to the security guard, and I just basically threw a giant fit in front of him. And lo and behold, surprise, other it's not a security guard. It's a
bouncer.
Bouncer. There you go. He called all the other bouncers. I didn't even know they were standing behind me, and I had this rush of adrenaline of who the heck do you think you are? You're not gonna touch me. And they were all ready for me to swing on him. They were just gonna mess me up. And luckily, some of my teammates came and they escorted me out and they were like, please don't touch him, because I was over here thinking I do like 4 years of jiu-jitsu. I can probably take on anybody. That was not the case. These guys were ready to stomp me out. And my teammates helped me out. That was literally the first time I ever got kicked out of the bar. I was 29 years. I was last year, so I was 29 years old, and I've never done that before. I've never had that kind of sense of encouragement of, you know what, man, I'm gonna go back up to this bouncer and just say whatever the heck I want.
Have you?
You got to do it from across the street, man.
Have you tried to go back there?
No, not really. I'm not like kicked out officially. They just kicked me out for the night. They were willing to beat myself, stomp me out, no matter what. So it was gonna happen, but they just crossed me out and they said, that I'm not kicked out fully, but just don't come back tonight. And I kind of really just never been back. I just avoided that place. We gotta go other places now, but
yeah, sometimes you just lick your wounds and go away. That's especially when you know they're in the right. And they're here. I told Miles, man, me and Marshawn stopped at a bar last night. I cannot explain how big this freaking bouncer was, man. This guy's like 6'8", about 300 pounds, and we're walking. It's about 10:30 at this point. Fellas, and it just, looks like he wants to kill you. Fellas, I need to see. Oh, Thrill. Hey, what's going on, man? You go ahead in. I'm like, thank God, man. Seriously, I just cannot explain how big this guy was. Like, you could bring 12 cops and people still lip off. If they got guns, F you, suck this, dude thing. This dude alone, it's like, I would never say anything stupid to you. I think even in a drunken rage, there's some survival instinct that says this man can kill you. I cannot explain how big this guy was, man. And not fat. Just a massive, massive dude.
You think there's a difference between getting kicked out and getting cut off?
No. Well, yes.
Well, you can get cut off. You can stay in the bar.
Yeah, means.
But we're not going to give you more alcohol.
Right.
But what I find is that's usually a bar you're familiar with. The bartender either knows you or is a friend of yours, just says, look, I'm going to cut you off. I like you. I know you to be a good guy. I cannot give you more alcohol tonight. Mm-hmm. You're at that point. But because if you have one more thing to drink, I'm going to have to kick you out.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think. There was a time, and it wasn't a bar I liked.
All right.
Right? But my buddy, he will die on weird hills. So he loved this place. And I'd be like, it's a little too fancy, right? It's Friday night after work.
Sure.
So me and like 4 other people show up, and there's some people there I haven't seen forever. Now, unbeknownst to me, I have another buddy who's not a big drinker, who's just been sitting at the bar by himself like a weirdo, silent.
Okay.
Right? Doesn't engage or whatever. So we get down. We have one round of drinks. I think we went outside and smoked or something. Come back in. And like the waiter was so nice about it, but he was just like, I can't serve you anymore. And I was like, who? And he's like, well, you guys. And I was like, us? And he's like, yeah. And he's like, is that going to be? I was like, no, sorry. Right. You just caught me off guard. I didn't know we were there already.
Were you that drunk?
No, that's what I'm saying. That was my reaction. I was just like, okay. Like, we were just kind of loud, but like I said, it was kind of a fancier joint, and I think smelling like weed probably didn't help when we walked in. Yeah. But, that was just my reaction. Like, who can't serve? He's like, you. And I was like, us? And he's like, is it going to be a problem? I was like, no, that's fine. And, like, we sat there for another half an hour. There was other people we were with who were drinking, and then finally after half an hour, I was like, all right, it's Friday night. Can we go somewhere and get a beer?
I've seen those signs in a lot of places in California. It could be a convenience store. It could be a restaurant. It could be a bar. And it says, if you come in reeking of weed, we will not serve you anything.
Really?
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
I was just giggling. I was like, all right.
Okay.
Even cops say we'd rather deal with someone who's high on weed than deal with a drunk. People on weed, you're very apologetic. Sorry, officer. Sorry, man. Yeah. Drunk, like, F you.
Well, and this place isn't even open anymore, so it doesn't matter. But they were very much about their image.
Okay.
What did someone do to get banned, fired, or kicked out? 206-803-ROCK.
Hello, Vicky. Welcome to the men's room.
Hi.
Hola.
Hola. So I was kicked out of the Renton Walmart.
You got kicked out of Walmart?
Escorted out by 2 security guards.
What do you have to do at Walmart to get kicked out, be escorted out?
And, I can't even say I was drunk. It was the middle of the afternoon. I was with my pregnant daughter. We were going to buy a crib. We went back to where the cribs were. There was one that was on sale, very affordable. Brought it up to cash register. She charged me $100 more. And I'm like, no, that's on sale. She's like, well, I can only do what the register says. I'm like, well, that's not right. So I went back to where the crib was, and I got the sign, and I brought it up, And she's like, well, I can't do anything about it. I'm like, well, then you need to call a supervisor because you can do something about it. And I was raising my voice, and I was getting a little angry because $100 is a lot of money to us right now.
Yeah.
So they brought over the supervisor, and she's like telling me to leave. And I'm like, you are not even doing anything to help me. And I was raising my voice, and she started to walk away. She's like, I'm done with you. And I'm like, no, you're not. And I chased her. And we were running around the round things where the clothes are hanging up.
You're seriously chasing her in circles around these things.
I was chasing her around the circles.
It's amazing you're not on the internet.
And obviously Walmart has cameras, so the security guards came. And in the meantime, my daughter had walked up, and the clerk said, here, and she gave it to her for the sales price. But
good, so the distraction worked.
So the two security guards came from wherever they come from, and they grabbed me, and I was still screaming at the damn supervisor. Oh, sorry.
You're fine.
You're fine.
Good.
Damn sorry.
Okay, good.
How old were you? How old were you when you got kicked out of the Walmart?
How old was I? Well, my daughter was pregnant, so I was in my 40s.
All right.
In Baltimore, you'd be 19.
Are you allowed to go back?
Well, they told me no, and I really don't even want to go back to that Walmart anyway. It's pretty ghetto. So. I've gone to other Walmarts, so it's not like my picture's everywhere. They told me I was not allowed back in that one.
Yeah, you can't chase employees in circles around the clothes. Who knew?
Yeah.
Who knew? It should have been I thought this was America.
Supervisors around screaming at them, and
Hey, but in the end, you got the sales price, right? That's all you wanted.
What did someone do to get banned, fired, or kicked out? 206-803-ROCK.
Hello, Jake. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola.
Hola.
Yeah, so I got kicked out of the Grand Sierra Casino in Reno, Nevada. Go ahead.
So you got kicked out of a Reno casino. Just make it a rhyme. I can't help myself.
Understandable. I was in the Army, and we were in Afghanistan. They sent me home really late for leave. And because of that, I got rushed. I spent like 30 hours on a plane. I landed in Reno at like 2 in the morning. And I was like, I'm not going to wake my parents up. Got a rental car and doing the smart thing, drove to the casino and went to the bar. So I go to the bar and I sit down and I start having some beers. The girl next to me starts talking to me. She's like, why are you dressed like that? And I was like, well, I got no other clothes right now. And I guess her boyfriend didn't like me talking to her. And he's like, pulls me aside. What are you doing drinking in uniform and all that? And I was like, well, I got no other clothes. Just trying to have a beer, yo. And the guy tries to pull rank on me because he was part of the Nevada National Guard.
Oh, come on.
And, yeah, exactly. I was like, you got to go, man. He kind of looks at me, and I rocked him hard. Well, at that point, I was like, well, I've got to go. So I decided to walk away. And as I was doing that, casino security comes out and yells at me and goes, hey, get on the ground. And I told him very explicitly no. And they come and charge me, and I hit one, and then I kicked the other one in the nuts. And it was on from there. Like, my mind was not straight. I was still in fight mode. And I learned my lesson. I can take about 3 guys, because I was about 6'4", 275 at that time. Take about 3, but I can't beat all 6 of them.
Reno.
They beat the hell out of me.
Yeah.
And they get me in handcuffs finally, and they're like, we're going to call the police. And, I'm like, call the police. Call them. I dare you. And they go through my wallet. They're like, no, we're going to call your dad. I went, no, sir, please call the police.
Call the police. That's why I said call the police, man.
God.
Yeah, funny how that works.
Return to Who Sucks Less on the way, and your emails from the men's room at KISW.com next.
At Metro, get an iPhone 12 with 5G and a dual camera system for $99.99. Take amazing pictures and share them instantly. And don't put up with life's yada yada. Yada yada. Like photo bombers. Zoom, crop out, yada yada. And bye.
You don't take yada yada in life, don't take yada yada from your wireless provider. Get iPhone 12 with 5G with no activation fees and nada yada yada. Only at Metro by T-Mobile. Switch to Metro, bring your ID. This offer isn't available for customers currently at T-Mobile or that have been with Metro in the past 180 days.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Whether you love true crime or comedy, celebrity interviews or news, you call the shots on what's in your podcast queue. And guess what? Now you can call them on your auto insurance too with the Name Your Price tool from Progressive. It works just the way it sounds. You tell Progressive how much you want to pay for car insurance, and they'll show you coverage options that fit your budget. Get your quote today at Progressive.com to join the over 28 million drivers who trust Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
Without the ones like you, who work tirelessly to keep things running, everything would suddenly stop. Hospitals, factories, schools, and power plants, they all depend on you. No matter the weather, emergency, or time of day, you're the ones who get it done. At Grainger, we're here for you with professional-grade industrial supplies. Count on real-time product availability and fast delivery. Call, clickgrainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
New Yorkers and visitors alike are heading to New York City's extraordinary experience that you have to feel to believe. Summit One Vanderbilt. An interactive, multi-level experience of art, sky, and exploration. Discover exhilarating heights, explore reflective spaces, walk among floating silver orbs, and immerse yourself in spectacular views of New York. Book your visit at summitov.com and start your journey here.
At Metro, get an iPhone 12 with 5G and a dual camera system for $99.99. Take amazing pictures and share them instantly. And don't put up with life's yada yada. Yada yada. Like photo bombers. Zoom, crop out, yada yada. And bye.
You don't take yada yada in life, don't take yada yada from your wireless provider. Get iPhone 12 with 5G with no activation fees and nada yada yada. Only at Metro by T-Mobile. Switch to Metro, bring your ID. This offer isn't available for customers currently at T-Mobile or that have been with Metro in the past 180 days.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Whether you love true crime or comedy, celebrity interviews or news, you call the shots on what's in your podcast queue. And guess what? Now you can call them on your auto insurance too with the Name Your Price tool from Progressive. It works just the way it sounds. You tell Progressive how much you want to pay for car insurance, and they'll show you coverage options that fit your budget. Get your quote today at Progressive.com to join the over 28 million drivers who trust Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
Hiring for your small business? If you're not looking for professionals on LinkedIn, you're looking in the wrong place. That's like looking for your car keys in a fish tank. LinkedIn helps you hire professionals you can't find anywhere else, even those who aren't actively searching for a new job but might be open to the perfect role. In a given month, over 70% of LinkedIn users don't even visit other leading job sites. So start looking in the right place. With LinkedIn, you can hire professionals like a professional. Post your free job on linkedin.com/recommend today.
Hey, Whatcom County, the holidays are over and lots of Americans are financially drained. Luckily, Bayside Coin and Jewelry pays top dollar for scrap gold, jewelry, and gold, silver, or platinum coins. If you have a pile of old jewelry or a stash of silver dollars, bring them into the store and see what they're worth. Or visit PacificRimCoins.com/calculator to get an instant quote using our free scrap calculator. That's PacificRimCoins.com/calculator for an instant quote.
What's up? It's your boy, The Ted Smith from The Men's Room. And did you know I have a podcast? Well, I do. The Podcast. New episodes uploaded every Wednesday on the Odyssey app.
The debauchery rolls on. You're listening to The Men's Room with Miles and Thrill. 99.9 KISW.
Coming up, the return of Who Sucks Less. But first time for a few emails to The Men's Room at KISW.com.
You've got mail.
You've got mail. And one from our question, guys. When I was stationed in Georgia, in Savannah, I got kicked out of a club for setting off fireworks on the dance floor. Georgia has a no fireworks law, so we went to South Carolina and got some fireworks. What really was the final straw was setting off a 25-shot Saturn missile on the dance floor. That from Clarence and Marysville.
Yeah, I like that as well. Georgia has that no fireworks rule, but specifically in crowded indoor places.
Yeah, most of the time they don't allow you to fire them off anywhere indoors. Birthdays, gentlemen, I was hoping to ask for a birthday shout-out since no one remembered to tell you guys it's my 24th birthday.
All right.
I was hoping some advice from Coach Ted could give me. Maybe a fish sandwich and the Dirty Germans telling me what's going to happen to this electrician's apprentice on his 24th birthday. Thanks, guys, and rock on. That from Josh the Sparky.
Too early to get a fish sandwich?
All right, 24. That's still going to be a hell of a weekend for you. I assume you're going out then. If you're apprenticing for electrician, you probably got to be to work tomorrow at a certain day. Go out tonight, have some fun, but this weekend, put in a couple pace cars. Main thing is, just make sure you're going to need a Gatorade, maybe some bananas. Have something ready for you at home when you get home.
Yeah, you say you're an apprentice electrician, then I would simply say for your birthday on this day, make sure you plug an outlet.
Oh, yeah. I was going to say you should use a personal pen light.
Yeah. Everything's an input.
See if she's charged.
Yeah.
Marcello, today's my amazing husband, Jeremy's 37th birthday. He works so hard, yet he still comes home and finds time to laugh with me. Yeah. He also sent you guys the sampler of High on Fire hot sauces that you guys tried last year from Vancouver, Washington. That was a great segment to listen to. So how about I cut that bitch off, a Suck It Up cupcake, and you guys talking all over each other about Star Wars, Ted's favorite, and maybe beer. Thank you guys for all you do. You've gotten us through some many tough days, especially during the heart of COVID. And we love you guys. If you're ever in Vancouver, please visit my hubby at Lewitt Brewing. Thanks, guys. That from the lovely Rachel.
Cut that bitch off. Next caller.
So, suck it up, cupcake.
Star Wars.
I don't know about Star Wars, man.
Disney Plus.
Disney shows. I can't remember the name of it. Coming up this summer, whatever the name is. I'm looking forward to it, man.
Guys, can I get a happy birthday to my OG friend Dan, great father, grandpa, and friend. Thank you for being so awesome of a human. How about a big old bong rip, a what the F is that, and a penis is too small for him. Thanks, Pacholas. That from Alex.
Oh my God, what the is that, bro?
All right, guys, here you go.
Happy, happy, happy birthday. Happy, happy, happy birthday. Happy, happy, happy birthday to you, to you, to you.
Ya's a Dirty Germans brought to you by Men's Room Original Sausage. Available through Uli's world famous sausage, mensroomlive.com, and other fine retailers. Schweinefleisch.
Thank you, Mom. A couple extra emails. Men's Room IPA from Black Raven Brewing. Available at the following locations. Thank you so much for sending in the pics and the locations. If you find the beer, send those to the men's room at KISW.com, and away we go. Total Wine and More in Inner Bay. They have the Men's Room IPA for everyone. That from Andrew. Appreciate that, Andrew. Guys, just found the Men's Room IPA at the Rays in Yakima, Washington. The Rays has it. Can't wait to try it. That from Nick. Found at Stimpy's Sports Bar and Grill in Kent. Waiting for my sample right now. Thanks, guys. That from Heather.
Way to go, Stimpy.
Stimpy Sports Bar, Kent. Ted, no.
Man, I don't know if I know that one.
I don't know if I do either. Let's see. Men's Room IPA found all the guys on tap at the Old Inn in Snohomish. That's from Andy, Ted's Brody friend.
Oh, yeah. Andy texted me that last week. Is it the Old Inn?
Old Inn in Snohomish?
Or the old, yeah.
Okay.
And then somebody else sent a picture of it on Facebook, too. Go tell Andy I said what's up.
Yeah. Guys found it at the Safeway in Belfair. That from Batman. It looks like he broke his elbow. I don't know what he did there. Guys on draft at Toscano's Italian Kitchen in Monroe, Washington. Find it on draft.
Get yourself an IPA.
I thought that was going to be the Batman we know.
I know. That's what I thought at first.
Guys, I'm sure it's been mentioned by now, but this is here at the Bothell QFC on 228th and Everett Highway. That is quite the display. It is also available just up the hill from there at the recently reopened Sid's Handy Mart. Also on 228. Sid, what are you doing to the customers?
All right.
The Handy Mart. Awesome beer.
Open it back up. We need it.
Absolutely love it. Keep up the amazing work you guys do every day. That from the HVACing mechanic. What else do we got here? A couple extra emails. Moving on from the beer. The subject is Ted and the Gentleman.
Ted and the Gentleman. Okay.
From TV Time with Ted.
Oh.
Ted, thank
do
you.
I have a new partner in crime? And he's called The Gentleman?
Yes. That's a great show. I'm only on the third one. By the way, also your jokes on TV Time get better and better. You should put together like a 30-minute set of comedy for a men's room event. That from Mike, great-grandnephew of William. That's how you know it's true. William Wallace.
Well, thanks for the compliment. 30 minutes is a long time.
Yes, it is.
I've done 10. I'm like, 30 minutes. Gracious. Also, The Gentleman, I will remind everybody, this came up Saturday. As you get later in that season, they run into some travelers.
Travelers.
I got yelled at Saturday night by somebody. I forgot where her mother was from.
Oh. Okay. And one more email. This is an entertaining one.
Sarah. Yeah. And I was like, no, we have a rule. And everybody's like, what do you mean? I was like, yeah, it's not a joke.
This says the men's room fart along is the subject. And it says, fly the friendly skies, bitches. It is DB Cooper again. I had to share this story since the men's room played a big part in it.
Uh-oh.
I drive trucks for a postal service delivering bulk mail in and around Seattle. One day not too long ago, I took the Seneca off-ramp on I-5, headed to 3rd Avenue in downtown. At the end of the off-ramp is a stoplight that turned red as I pulled up. I had my window down, radio up since I just got off the freeway. The men's room was reading birthday emails, and someone requested this long, juicy fart clip. As you started the clip, I looked out of my driver's side window and saw a homeless man holding a stuffed animal and a sign. When he made eye contact and I started contorting my face like I was the one letting loose, the man, he just looked horrified. When it was done, he yelled, "Dude!" And he turned around and walked away, looking over his shoulder at me once again with a somewhat disgusted look on his face. Thanks, guys. That gave me a good laugh. Hugs and kisses. That from DB Cooper.
Yeah. Now, the men's room wants to know, who sucks less?
Yay, time for Who Sucks Less. Stephen Thrill, you bring us 3 stories from the news each and every week. They all suck, but it's up to us to determine, out of the 3 stories, which one sucks the least. Now, if you happen to follow KISW on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram, the debate is already underway on Who Sucks Less.
And let's just get to it. As I say, this happened over in England, but the mistake of a law clerk accidentally choosing the wrong file from a drop-down menu on an online portal led to a divorce of the wrong couple. Now, a senior judge recently refused to overturn the divorce of a couple that had been accidentally chosen from the drop-down menu. All right. So the couple, referred to as Mr. and Mrs. Williams by the court, they've been married for 21 years. Until 2023, they separated. Now, the couple was still in the process of arranging financial agreements for their separation when the law clerk accidentally selected them for a final divorce order on an online portal. So that saw them legally divorced in just 21 minutes. Now, all the attempts to have the error overturned by the judge, they were denied. Because, as the judge says, the public trust in a truly final divorce order was more important, which makes no sense because they didn't want the divorce. He says, quote, "There's a strong public policy interest in respecting the certainty and finality that flows from a final divorce order and maintaining that status quo that it is established." Now, on the other hand, the lawyers, they explained basically that the lawyer at the firm used an online portal to mistakenly apply for the final order for a couple that was not actually ready to divorce. They still had financial details to sort out, but as soon as the final order was solicited, the divorce was official. 21 minutes. Now, the lawyers realized the mistake 2 days after it occurred, but when it asked the high court to rescind the final divorce order, the request was denied. The firm insisted the employee had accidentally selected the couple's file with a simple click. But the judge said, well, in reality, one has to go through multiple screens on the portal to be granted a final order. Quote, "Like many similar online processes, an operator may only get the one final screen to do the final click of the mouse is made after traveling through a series of earlier screens." Anyway, one of the representatives there described the judge's decision as bad, arguing that it allowed a computer to say, "No, you're divorced." So think about this. To protect the integrity of the system, the judge will not reverse a divorce that no one wanted, meaning the integrity of the system has already been blown up. I don't get it. That's such a weird thing to me. We continue. Now we go to Texas, where for decades, Dr. Steve Bennon Jr. He was a transplant surgeon. He gained accolades and national prominence for his work, including helping to enforce professional standards in the sprawling organ transplant system. That's the joke, because officials are now investigating allegations that, well, Benyon was secretly manipulating a government database to make some of his own patients ineligible to receive new livers, potentially depriving them of life-saving care. So the medical center where he works in Houston, he oversaw both the liver and kidney transplant programs, but they abruptly shut down those programs in the last week while looking into these allegations. Now, the medical center said that a doctor in its liver transplant program had admitted to changing patient records. That effectively denied the transplants. Officials identified that person as Benyon. So they released a statement defending him as, quote, an exceptionally talented and caring physician and a pioneer in abdominal organ transplantation. The statement said that the survival rates of his patients who received transplants were among the best in the nation. So if he did operate on you, this was the doctor you wanted. However, in recent years, a disproportionate number of his patients have died while waiting for a liver. Last year, 14 patients were taken off the center's waiting list because they either died or became too sick. And its mortality rate for people waiting for a transplant, higher than expected. So far this year, 5 patients have died or become too sick to receive a liver transplant. But officials began investigating after being alerted by a complaint. So an analysis found that the hospital was calling irregularities in how patients were classified on the waiting list for liver transplants. So when doctors place a patient on the list, they must identify the types of donors that they would consider, including a person's age and weight, right? That makes sense. Well, hospital officials said they found patients had been listed as accepting only donors with ages and weights that were impossible. For instance, one of the transplants, he needed the liver of a 300-pound toddler. That's what he put in. So no one's going to get that. So if the list was tampered with, patients would not be aware of the changes in their status. So the hospital said in a statement it did not know how many patients were affected by the changes. Anyway, at the time of the shutdown of its programs, the hospital had 38 patients on its liver transplant waiting list, 346 patients on the kidney list. And they're now contacting those patients to help them find new providers. Okay, that's a little effed up. And then finally, a former University of Iowa hospital employee, he admitted to stealing another man's identity and using it for the last 35 years. It gets worse. So on April 1st, 58-year-old Matthew David Cairns, he pleaded guilty to federal charges that he had stolen another man's identity and used it for the last 35 years. Now, at the time of his arrest, he was working at the University of Iowa Hospital under the name of William Donald Woods. That's an alias that he adopted back in 1988 after working with the real Woods at a hot dog cart in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Now, it's unclear how he was able to use Woods' identity in every aspect of his life, but court documents revealed that in 1990, he was able to get a Colorado identification card with Woods' name and birthday, and then the next year, he bought a car in Woods' name. He even wrote 2 checks that eventually bounced. Now, after driving the stolen car to Idaho, Cairns abandoned it and used all of his money from the Colorado bank using an ATM to leave the state. So an arrest was issued for Woods for the car theft, but court documents don't show whether it was actually enforced. Now, Cairns went on with his adopted life, even married a woman in 1994. He even fathered a child whose last name is Woods, which again is the ID he stole. In 2012, this same guy took his identity theft to a whole new level, managing to illegally acquire a copy of Woods' birth certificate from the state of Kentucky, and then using the information he found about Woods' family on Ancestry.com. A year later, he moved to eastern Wisconsin, started working in the IT department at the University of Iowa. Between 2016 and 2022, he took out several vehicle and personal loans in Woods' name, totaling $200,000. Meanwhile, the real William Donald Woods, he was a homeless man living in Los Angeles. He recently noticed that someone had accumulated significant debt using his credit card, but when he tried explaining it to his bank, a bank employee asked Woods a series of security questions that he was unable to answer because he's not the one that set up the account. Right. So Woods gave her his real Social Security card and an identity card that matched the one on file, but since the other guy's phone number was the one connected to all the accounts now, he had to set up the security questions, and when he was called by the bank, he answered them correctly. So the bank says, well, we have a different number. So they called the number of the guy that stole his ID. Well, he knows all the security questions. So as per the bank's protocol, after confirming that Cairns was the real Woods, the bank employee called the police, and they contacted both of the Woodses. Now, the fake one sent to LAPD a copy of Woods' Social Security card and birth certificate. as well as a Wisconsin driver's license. And considering that the real William Woods was homeless at the time, police sided with the thief and arrested this guy for identity theft. Worse, after he was arrested and charged with identity theft and false imprisonment, he kept insisting that he's actually William frickin' Donald Woods. Well, at this point, the judge, they said he's not mentally competent to stay in trial. They sent him to a mental hospital in California. Because he's like, dude, I'm telling you. He was given a psychotropic medication and other mental health treatments. About 2 years later, he's finally released, and he pleaded no contest to the charge of identity theft. I mean, he accepted the conviction, but he's not admitting guilt. So he's sentenced to 2 years in jail again because someone else took his frickin' ID. Well, by this point, Woods had become convinced that someone was using his identity. He couldn't just give it up as the judge had ordered him to, so instead he started reaching out to multiple law enforcement agencies. Finally, they tracked this guy down. They finally did a DNA test, and it proved that this guy Kearns, for the last 35 years, had stolen his ID. Meanwhile, this guy Woods, still down on his luck, but he at least got, 35 years, a mental institution, all this crap, because you're telling the truth. So again, we have the judge that will not reverse the divorce that was granted to a couple that was not trying to get divorced. We have the doctor who's putting some of his patients on the transplant waiting list, but asking for ridiculous, basically, criteria for them to meet. And these people are dying or getting too sick to get the transplant. And finally, this guy ends up putting another dude in a mental institution for stealing his ID for 35 years.
I think it's the judge in England on my end, Ted. He sucks the least.
Why?
Because the other person, the doctor, ended up with patients that were dying.
Yeah.
Patients that couldn't get a transplant. And the other guy ended up in jail based on the fact that someone stole his identity.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you're right. At the end of the day, they got divorced even though they didn't want to, but that's not death.
You can still be together if you want.
Yeah, and the other guy had to do jail time.
Right.
Which almost seems crazy they didn't just do a DNA test on him beforehand.
They just thought he was crazy. He's homeless. They're like, oh, he's making this crap up.
Debate continues on Who Sucks Less if you follow KISW on Facebook, Twitter, and on Instagram. Shot of the Day's coming up. You are listening to The Men's Room.
I'm Sandra, and I'm just the professional your small business was looking for. But you didn't hire me because you didn't use LinkedIn Jobs. LinkedIn has professionals you can't find anywhere else, including those who aren't actively looking for a new job, but might be open to the perfect role, like me.
In a given month, over 70% of LinkedIn users don't visit other leading job sites. So if you're not looking on LinkedIn, you'll miss out on great candidates like Sandra. Start hiring professionals like a professional. Post your free job on linkedin.com/recommend today.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Whether you love true crime or comedy, celebrity interviews or news, you call the shots on what's in your podcast queue. And guess what? Now you can call them on your auto insurance too with the Name Your Price tool from Progressive. It works just the way it sounds. You tell Progressive how much you want to pay for car insurance, and they'll show you coverage options that fit your budget. Get your quote today at Progressive.com to join the over 28 million drivers who trust Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
For those in the market for flavor, there's Modelo Spiked Aguas Frescas, a flavorful drink that's a modern twist on a Mexican street classic. With 4 vibrant and refreshing flavors. Pineapple, watermelon, hibiscus, and cucumber lime. Made with a splash of real fruit juice. Modelo Spiked Aguas Frescas are perfect for any fiesta, small or big. Modelo Spiked Aguas Frescas, boldly authentic, vibrantly flavorful. Drink responsibly. Modelo Spiked Aguas Frescas flavored beers imported by Crown Imports, Chicago, Illinois. Hibiscus contains juice only for color.
New Yorkers and visitors alike are heading to New York City's extraordinary experience that you have to feel to believe. Summit One Vanderbilt. An interactive, multi-level experience of art, sky, and exploration. Discover exhilarating heights, explore reflective spaces, walk among floating silver orbs, and immerse yourself in spectacular views of New York. Book your visit at summitov.com and start your journey here.
99.9 KISW. The shenanigans continue. This is the Men's Room with Miles and Thrill.
All right, count of minutes. We'll drink your toast with the shot of the day. And we do have your headlines on the way at 5:50. But first, quick check-in with Mike Hogg with some of the stories and headlines he is not working on.
Well, Mike, yeah. Thank you, Miles. Doctors are claiming that it's healthier for men to sit down to pee.
Okay.
I mean,
When I'm super drunk, I will, but generally just stand, aim, fire.
It had to do with the fact that your prostate begins to swell the older that you get, and for whatever reason, sitting down takes pressure off the bladder or something like that.
Sometimes just sound,
and also mess.
It's just so loud. Like sometimes in the morning when you're getting that first one out, it's just like, Jesus Christ.
Right.
I should just sit down.
Can't hear myself think.
And also the splash in there, it hits everything. You get the little tiny little trinkets that go all over the place. Like, nah, just sit down, dude. You're all good. Pepsi is recalling a zero sugar product
because
it's chock full of sugar.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. It's loaded with sugar, dude.
Man, can you imagine being that poor bastard drinking that and being like, this is so good. They've done it this time.
I think the problem was actually ended up mislabeling a different product.
Gotcha.
So it's not that it always has had that, but I think they put the wrong labels on the wrong batch. So they're like, look, it's not so much that we care, but like if you are diabetic or something,
right,
and you're trying to avoid sugar,
I didn't think about that.
Yeah, that was their position. Like, look, man, we're not saying Pepsi Zero Sugar, whatever it's called.
Dude, this batch is bomb.
Right.
I was thinking about somebody just trying, be like,
exactly.
You know what? I'll just have a 0-calorie soda. It's like, God, man, they have outdone themselves.
It tastes like regular Pepsi.
Right? Like, this is so legit.
Right.
Reclining airline seats may be going away.
Good.
Okay.
Right. It didn't do enough anyway, and all it did was piss off the guy behind you.
That's literally the only thing that happens.
And I will say that there's some amount of relief when you get back just that little extra bit. So I will say build them with a little bit of recline to them, because the thing is, after you take off, the most uncomfortable time that you have in that seat is when you're starting out. Because those things are all the way up here, but then when you take off, you kind of always are in a little bit of a mini recline. So just lean them back a little bit.
Why do you have to put the seats up at takeoff and landing? I'm sure it's some safety thing, but like, what is the inherent danger?
I think the jostling of the plane as it's taking off, I think, could damage the seat, depending on.
So it ain't you; it's the seat.
I think so.
Okay,
Don't quote me on any of this.
Mike
I'm trying to logic it out. Same thing with the tray table. You got that thing sitting there, and I've seen a busted tray table before. But especially if you're leaning down on it and watching something like that, and that thing's jostling like crazy. Well,
I get the tray table. Like, okay, that's fair. But the seat, it doesn't matter. It's never recline anyway.
Right.
But I'm always like, it's because they're so strict about it.
It's all about control.
Hey, man,
well, also, like the airlines, it's just brutal, right? Like they've made the seats smaller. People have gotten bigger. So that's like, just stop doing it with the reclining, because like you got everybody squeezed in. Like it just starts fight between customers. But again, this is another one of those things where people will go, it's my right to recline, and we'll argue with each other instead of being mad at the airline industry.
Right. Exactly.
So just take the option out.
You got rid of the ashtrays for the same, right? I already know I can't smoke, but you did me the solid of we're just going to remove it and replace it with a USB port.
Right. But you know what? That's just something that's changing. And in fact, there's a lot of things that are changing. In fact, even financially speaking, there are things that are changing. There are things that you used to just be able to take for free that you can't anymore.
Like great.
The Men's Room Top 10. The Men's Room Top 10. 10 things that used to be free, but now people have to pay for them. Sex. But it never really was. It was going to cost you no matter what. Dinner, drinks, flowers, time, a couple of 2-carat diamond rings, pocket change. Then your friends, half your 401k, 2 pairs of perfectly broken-in cowboy boots you had for 2 decades prior to meeting and cohabitating with this delightful creature, and your dog. I understand why John Wick is so pissed off.
That's just mean. So these are things that used to be free, but now people have to pay for them. At the bottom of the list, they say museums, art galleries, and national parks.
I don't recall them ever being free. Outside of D.C., to give you an idea, so most of the national things in D.C. are absolutely free. There's one you pay for, maybe the Spy Museum. I don't know, whatever. But you go to the Smithsonian. I mean, these are like the finest museums in this country.
Yeah, the Spy Museum, I'm not positive, is part of the Smithsonian.
Okay. But they're free. But the zoo is also free. So that's where my wife spent most of her time. And we moved to Seattle. We went to Woodland Park Zoo. She almost lost her mind.
Like, what do you mean you have to pay?
Yeah, she was like, are they kidding us? I said, man, you went to the National Zoo. Like every other zoo on this planet, you got to pay. You went to the one that's free, but otherwise, I'm like,
I didn't know until I was 21. Moved to Baltimore. Mm-hmm. Same thing.
Go to the aquarium?
No. I mean, the aquarium you always had to pay for, but like somebody's like, we should go to the zoo. And Same thing. Somebody's like, how much does it cost? And it's like, what the F you talking about? They're zoos. They're free.
Right? DC folks got it. Well, they don't have a good, but they got a lot of free. You've got that good, right?
No, it was just already taken out because that's taxpayer funds.
Yeah, I was going to say, I mean,
you've already
free.
paid
I mean, in one way, we paid for it.
That's what I tell anybody. If I meet somebody in person and they go, hey, Ted, you're from the DC area, which I always go take advantage. It's free,
Absolutely.
but you've already paid for it with your tax money. Go
like,
see them.
You know, when you go to a stadium, they don't even charge us to walk in anymore because we all paid for it.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. You know, when next time you see the Hawks, you want to check out the Mariners, man, just say, no, I paid for this. Just let me
my
on
favorite one, after the taxpayer money went to pay for it, they went, we're going to keep that money and keep taxing you, and we'll allocate it somewhere else.
Yeah.
Like, no, the deal was that the stadium is done and paid for, then we're done paying that tax. They went, we really like that tax money.
Yep.
We'll do what we want with it. You keep paying it. Like, I didn't agree to that.
You didn't have to.
Yeah. They like to start taxes, don't quite like taking them off. We talked about the airline industry, but free meals on planes.
Yeah, no kidding, man.
At one point, they used to you had two options.
They just brought it to you.
Right.
What did I read?
You also bought a ticket, and that was included in the price of the ticket. It wasn't free. I mean, you paid for it when you bought your ticket.
But it's kind of like one of the airline catering companies is going on strike, or airport catering company.
Yeah.
I'm like, so what? I can't get pretzels and those cookies?
Exactly.
What are you catering on the flight, brother? I mean, I'm just thinking like, okay.
Now, I will say, man, having done a lot of earlier morning flights, I do like having those little Biscoffs in my coffee.
The Biscoffs are the jam.
Dude, they are
Biscoffs
bomb.
are just great in general.
They are. And you know what? I could probably go somewhere and just get a rack of them and just take them with me on my flight.
I mean, look,
there's something
where can we get
decadent about
Biscoffs?
that.
My daughter loves. So anytime we get on a flight,
I think you can buy them in any grocery. You just got to look. Like, you got to go to the cookie aisle, but you got to look for like this specific one.
I had to get her Biscoff by request on her flight back to Seattle 2 weeks ago when I came back from vacation, and coming around seeing if you want anything to eat, drink. And my daughter's like, Dad, ask her if she has Biscoff. I'm like, just let me get my order.
Biscoff,
please. I was like, can you please just get her cookies? And sure enough, they were Biscoff. I'm like, my God, she's like addicted to those things.
They're great.
And there's a lot of things that make me feel old. You get to mid-40s. It is crazy. The first flight I ever took, I remember, it was an early morning flight with my brother and my dad to Florida to watch college football. We got free breakfast, Mike.
Oh, nice.
Right now, I'm sitting here thinking about, like, Jesus Christ, I am old.
Yeah.
We got a meal.
For free.
Right.
A deck of cards. Did you get a deck of cards? They used to think if you got on a flight.
But it was like a 2-hour flight, and you still got a meal.
And there was a magazine sitting in the pouch in front of you.
Yeah.
That's the one that drives me wild. Because I don't prepare for my flights enough. Just give me the free magazine. Right? Hey, listen,
come
on. Or Sky Mall. I'm not going to buy into that crap, but let me fantasize and do something.
Things that used to be free, but now people have to pay for them. Bill fees. Paying bills used to be painful, but with additional fees, it's unbearable. Why in the world do I have to pay you?
I know it's ridiculous.
And how's there a convenience fee? You won't take cash.
That's not convenient to me.
Yeah. Right.
And like I'm paying the bill. Look, I understand I use this much energy or I purchase this thing, whatever. And I'm agreeing, to our agreement. I will give you this money for what I have used in my home. It's like, yeah, we're going to charge you a little extra.
Right.
For convenience. Well, it's going to a computer.
Right.
And it's annoying. Nobody's doing anything. It just goes directly into your account. Come on, man.
Exactly.
And convenience fee.
I understand that maybe there's some sort of software that you were paying for the license for any given year, and I get that.
But that's a decision you made as a company.
Correct.
We didn't make that decision.
And that is a small doggone chunk out of what you're taking out of everybody. And you know, when's the last time you bought concert tickets? And then all of a sudden that ticket that has a face value skyrockets because of, convenience service fees. Like, are you kidding me?
But I don't even get a paper ticket.
Hey.
I can't even keep like a ticket stub.
Try many. ATM surcharges.
Yeah. That's another ridiculous one. Like, my money's in the account.
Right.
You guys collect the interest off of it. I understand that. You're investing it in play. All that's fine.
Right.
Why are
Also,
you charging me to get my own
There's also
money?
certain banks that won't let you walk in more than twice a month.
Yeah.
And then they start charging you for your transactions.
Why?
Say you have a cash business, right?
Right.
And you want to go in there and every night you
deposit your cash.
Deposit your
Well,
cash
weed
in the morning,
business,
whatever,
right?
whatever,
Sure.
whatever it is. On a personal checking account, if you go in there more than twice a month, they start charging you for the transactions, the teller fees.
That's what you pay your tellers for.
This building used to be named after that bank.
Oh.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Even though it's owned by an Italian, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Small note, but
Not a lot of
that's
people,
an ironic name for something on it.
Not a lot of people that have started accounts with them that don't have them anymore.
I'm one of them, man. I mean, it took me like 7 months. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. Right. You guys are the worst.
I'll just say we are named after an Italian guy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, American.
All right.
Yeah.
That's true enough.
Yeah.
Things that used to be free, but now people have to pay for them. Good call.
Is that your connection? Oh, I'm going to go Vespucci. That's all.
I mean, first of all, I like his name.
Yeah.
Also, like, it is kind of funny he got credit.
Yeah, that's it.
They went to TV channels. Used to be free. Used to be able that you could just, whether it was hooking up the satellite, which I believe you still can do for free as long as you pay for the satellite, you can get those channels for free. However, can't just get the your regular broadcast channels for free anymore.
I also wish you could just plug in your TV and it goes. We had to get a new TV recently. So our other one just took a complete S on Friday night. Whatever. Anyway, we got a new TV. We plug it in. You hook up all your stuff. It's like another 20 minutes of just crap
Setting it
that it's
up.
asking you. Like, oh my God,
to
man.
the Wi-Fi.
I will say, even if you're not a huge TV person, you sit down on a Friday night or Saturday afternoon, like, all right, let's take some time, and then the TV doesn't work. That's infuriating.
Yeah, that was our Friday night. Me and the wife sit down. We got something to eat, something to drink, feed up, turn on the TV. I'm like, you're effing kidding me.
Right. Couldn't have happened on like a Tuesday night when I didn't give a damn. Things that used to be free, but now people have to pay for them. Shopping bags go on there. Yeah. Now we're getting taxed with those 8-cent shopping bags every doggone time. And I also love, I have a handful of reusable bags. You'd think I would remember to take them into the doggone store from time to time. Hell no. Of course not.
I know.
Feel stupid every time you do,
I feel
too.
like a moron. And I just never remember. And then
Do you have
everybody's
them in
like,
your trunk?
That's what everybody says. They stay in my trunk.
That's
when
the
I
thing.
put my groceries in my trunk, I go, God damn it.
There they are.
There they be.
I don't know why. It's just, as soon as I park, it's like my mind goes blank. And it's just like, all right, get my cart, do this,
Right.
do that.
The number of times that we've been going to the checkout lane and I have just angrily shouted at my wife, no, just start checking out. I'm going to go get the doggone bags.
Yeah, I know. It's not that hard. I don't know why. I just blank on it.
Yeah, you just don't think about it. Airplane luggage. Up until the mid-2000s, airplane luggage was free as long as it didn't exceed the specified weight. No, you're totally, flying across the country, just plan to do, fly right back. You don't need luggage.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
And remember, the airline, and we called BS as soon as they said it. It was, since gas prices always go up and down, this was one of the spikes. So the airlines basically all just said, to cover the fuel costs. And it was spiking worse than it is now, I believe, at the time. That's why we're doing this bag charge.
Oh, yeah.
Fine. But I remember the quote, the part that pissed me off, and they go, when the fuel prices drop, that'll go away. And I remember looking at my wife, and I said, there's zero chance of that happening.
Right.
That you, just say,
Hey, you know
we're
what?
going to start charging you for your bags. We know you're going to keep it.
They hit phenomenal lows during COVID. You see those baggage charges go away?
No.
Hell no.
That's what I'm saying, right.
Hell no.
It's just part of the thing now.
Jackasses. Condiments and dipping sauces. Remember when you could just get a doggone dipping sauce?
A quarter, I believe now, or 50 cents, depending on where you are.
Mm-hmm.
If you go out to eat, it's going to be sometimes $1.
It's ridiculous. Really? Are we paying this extra? Like Taco Bell. Thank God that you guys are still here.
Yeah, they're still cool about it. Like, sure, man.
Right. Well, we will fill your doggone glove
You
box.
don't need more than we gave you.
Because I do it a lot. When you pull up to a Taco Bell drive-thru, I'm not kidding you, man. Because they put so much sauce and just throw it in the bag.
Yeah.
You will inevitably always pop a hot sauce packet with your tire, and you hear that poof. And then, by the time you get when you're going to, you're looking like, my entire tire is covered in
hot sauce.
Yeah.
Now they're for real Firestones.
There you go.
I mean, I remember my brother and I, when we were kids, like if we went to a fast food place, we would go to Wendy's or a place called Roy Rogers because they had ketchup you could dispense yourself.
Oh, yeah. The push
And right, I'm still a teenager, so it's like my life is ketchup. You know what I mean? Need as much ketchup. That is weird. As an adult, you use so much less ketchup.
You do.
And I still
It's too sweet.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong, I still like ketchup with my fries, but I don't know, you're just very specific about it. But that was why one of the reasons we went to Wendy's, so we could fill up all those little cups of free ketchup.
Yep. But then the number one thing that used to be free, but now people have to pay for it. You guys remember the days of free drink refills?
Yeah. Sure, man.
Started disappearing in the early 2010s, and it's hard to grasp that not that long ago, coffee or soda refills were free of charge. It's still possible to get free refills, but you do have to have an app or get the brand's refillable mugs. This means that these free refills are not free
They
at
just
all.
charge you somewhere else.
Exactly.
That is kind of wild. I always thought that was just a standard thing in a restaurant, especially with sodas.
Yeah.
Like, come on, man.
There's no standard anymore.
Oh, the worst is when somebody, you ever been in a bar and just get a club soda?
No.
Or a seltzer water, they charge you. It's like,
Really?
Wouldn't you help people who are a little more sober?
Right. Like, I feel bad if, for whatever reason, if I'm not drinking that night or if I do need to sober up and all I do get is a club soda. And then I will still throw a tip out on the table.
Sure.
I will still ask, do I owe you anything? And then I'll throw a big tip on the table because I'm taking up a bar stool and you guys aren't making a dime on it.
Correct.
I'm going to tip
which
you.
is fair,
Right.
especially if you're with a group of people and you're going to sit there for a while. But I don't know. I just feel like that should be easy.
Yeah, I agree.
A student in Ohio has been banned from going to her prom, and you'll never believe why.
I will believe why, but you'll tell me at 5:50?
That's correct, Miles.
Vegas, our headlines are coming up at 5:50. In the meantime, let's get a contestant on the line for Profile This at 206-803-ROCK. Have we made it to drinking time?
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Whether you love true crime or comedy, celebrity interviews or news, you call the shots on what's in your podcast queue. And guess what? Now you can call them on your auto insurance too with the Name Your Price tool from Progressive. It works just the way it sounds. You tell Progressive how much you want to pay for car insurance, and they'll show you coverage options that fit your budget. Get your quote today at Progressive.com to join the over 28 million drivers who trust Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
At Metro, get an iPhone 12 with 5G and a dual camera system for $99.99. Take amazing pictures and share them instantly. And don't put up with life's yada yada.
Yada yada.
Like photo bombers. Zoom, crop out,
Yada yada.
and bye.
You don't take yada yada in life, don't take yada yada from your wireless provider. Get iPhone 12 with 5G with no activation fees and nada yada yada. Only at Metro by T-Mobile. Switch to Metro, bring your ID. This offer isn't available for customers currently at T-Mobile or that have been with Metro in the past 180 days.
For those in the market for flavor, there's Modelo Spiked Aguas Frescas, a flavorful drink that's a modern twist on a Mexican street classic with 4 vibrant and refreshing flavors. Pineapple, watermelon, hibiscus, and cucumber lime, made with a splash of real fruit juice. Modelo Spiked Aguas Frescas are perfect for any fiesta, small or big. Modelo Spiked Aguas Frescas, boldly authentic, vibrantly flavorful. Drink responsibly. Modelo Spiked Aguas Frescas flavored beers imported by Crown Imports, Chicago, Illinois. Hibiscus contains juice only for color.
Meet the Bed by Thuma, the perfect platform bed frame. Thoughtfully handcrafted from upcycled wood, the bed is strong, backed by a lifetime warranty, and ships directly to your door. Assembly takes 5 minutes, no tools needed. To get $25 towards the bed, go to Thuma.co. That's THUMA.co to receive $25 off your purchase of the bed. Shop the bed at Thuma.co.
Without the ones like you, who work tirelessly to keep things running, everything would suddenly stop. Hospitals, factories, schools, and power plants, they all depend on you. No matter the weather, emergency, or time of day, you're the ones who get it done. At Grainger, we're here for you with professional-grade industrial supplies. Count on real-time product availability and fast delivery. Call, clickgrainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Whether you love true crime or comedy, celebrity interviews or news, you call the shots on what's in your podcast queue. And guess what? Now you can call them on your auto insurance too with the Name Your Price tool from Progressive. It works just the way it sounds. You tell Progressive how much you want to pay for car insurance, and they'll show you coverage options that fit your budget. Get your quote today at Progressive.com to join the over 28 million drivers who trust Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
Looking for a job is lonely. Endless searching, phone calls that go nowhere, applications that vanish into thin air. What if you could link with dozens of local companies who are hiring right now with just one connection? That's Express Employment Professionals. Find us at expresspros.com. One connection, endless opportunities, and no fees ever for job seekers. Express Employment Professionals. expresspros.com.
What's up? It's your boy, the Ted Smith from the Men's Room. And did you know I have a podcast? Well, I do. The Podcast. New episodes uploaded every Wednesday on the Odyssey app.
Somebody out there deserves to be recognized. And the Men's Room knows just who it is. So to you, we say, bottoms up, sailor. You're the toast of our shot of the day.
Drink time it is, and as usual, we head to the drink desk and Stephen Throwhill to find out who we're toasting.
Yes, indeed. And today we toast the Pennsylvania's Attorney General's office. Recently, the Attorney General's office, they gloated in a press release that they had arrested a man at the Greyhound bus station in downtown Pittsburgh. Now, they were proud of themselves because they seized 9 kilos or 450,000 doses of fentanyl worth $1.6 million. Now, keep in mind, 2 milligrams of fentanyl can actually prove to be fatal. So 9 kilograms can kill, 4.5 million people. Definitely a drug bust to be proud of. And the Attorney General's office was indeed quite proud. Up until they weren't. After sending the fentanyl to a lab to be tested, the results came back, and it turns out that the fentanyl was not fentanyl. It was 9 kilograms of baking soda. So I did a quick math. If you buy Arm & Hammer and you get 9 kilos of baking soda, that's a street value of about $980.
What are you doing with it? Just selling
cutting drugs.
Oh, okay.
But the problem is, it's not illegal. He did not. So the whole thing is like, we know what you're doing with this, but we can't bust you for having 9 kilos of baking soda. That's all. So, yeah, they had to kind of rescind that. Hey, that big fentanyl thing we were worried about, it's baking soda.
Right. I mean, it's right. We know what you're doing.
We know what you're doing.
But that's not illegal.
That's
just
right.
want your fridge to smell good.
Mm-hmm. Big fridge. Yeah. So we pour this booze and we drink this booze because we think it's yummy.
Yummy.
So over the tongue and down the throat to party in our tummies.
Down the hola bichola.
The Men's Room presents Profile This.
And Stephen Throwhill, could you please tell everyone how Profile This is played?
Sure can, Miles. It's a simple game where we share with you a real-life news story. Something that happened right here on planet Earth. And as you listen to the story, based on the stereotypes you believe to be true of people and the decisions that people make, we'll ask you what it is you think makes the story a story. Our caller dropped off. Miles, Ted, you will be playing against each other.
Okay.
So today we have Bite Me. In other words, what did someone find in their food? Hit Me with Your Best Shot, where you guess the unconventional weapon that someone chose to use as a weapon. And finally, Animalize This, where you guess the animal responsible for causing the problem.
We did Hit Me yesterday.
We did. Animals?
As they say, the dogs had their day at a Chinese mall when 100 of them escaped from a pet cafe and ran loose through the shopping center. Workers at the cafe said someone left the door open, allowing 100 canines to run out into the shopping mall, surprising and delighting the shoppers. Now, cafe employees, they said the dogs were excited because the business's owner was visiting the cafe after a prolonged absence. When workers ran out after the dogs, they were able to round up the excited animals after a prolonged indoor chase. They don't say exactly how long the dogs were on the loose, but we're going to go ahead and call it a hot minute because there were 100 of them. And every dog was the same breed.
All right.
That's what makes it, for the people at the mall, like, this is crazy. But anyway, the question is, what was the breed? Was it 100 Huskies? Was it 100 Chihuahuas? Was it 100 French Bulldogs? Or was it 100 Wiener Dogs?
You totally missed the opportunity to make it 100 Dalmatians, man.
God damn it.
I was like, waiting. I was like, that's not even an option?
Come on, man.
So what was it? Huskies?
Huskies, Chihuahuas, French Bulldogs, or Wiener Dogs? Damn it, Mike. You shouldn't have told me. Now I'm irritated at myself. Son of a bitch.
Ted, I'm going to go French Bulldogs.
Oh, so was I.
But you still can't.
You know what?
Now you're acting like the wife at dinner. But I was going to order that.
But this is a contest. And I'm going to win. You know what? I think it was 100 Huskies.
Okay.
It's kind of a weird thing to say. 100 Huskies.
100 Huskies.
Mike?
Give me the Wiener Dogs.
Give me the wiener. Okay. Hawk's taking the wiener. What were the 100 dogs that were roaming free through the mall there? Were they Huskies, Chihuahuas, French Bulldogs, or Wiener Dogs? We'll find out next.
That was a tease.
Hiring for your small business? If you're not looking for professionals on LinkedIn, you're looking in the wrong place. That's like looking for your car keys in a fish tank. LinkedIn helps you hire professionals you can't find anywhere else, even those who aren't actively searching for a new job but might be open to the perfect role. In a given month, over 70% of LinkedIn users don't even visit other leading job sites. So start looking in the right place. With LinkedIn, you can hire professionals like a professional. Post your free job on linkedin.com/recommend today.
Without the ones like you, who work tirelessly to keep things running, everything would suddenly stop. Hospitals, factories, schools, and power plants, they all depend on you. No matter the weather, emergency, or time of day, you're the ones who get it done. At Grainger, we're here for you with professional-grade industrial supplies. Count on real-time product availability and fast delivery. Call, clickgrainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
At Metro, get an iPhone 12 with 5G and a dual camera system for $99.99. Take amazing pictures and share them instantly. And don't put up with life's yada yada.
Yada yada.
Like photo bombers. Zoom, crop out,
Yada yada.
and bye.
You don't take yada yada in life, don't take yada yada from your wireless provider. Get iPhone 12 with 5G with no activation fees and nada yada yada. Only at Metro by T-Mobile. Switch to Metro, bring your ID. This offer isn't available for customers currently at T-Mobile or that have been with Metro in the past 180 days.
99.9 KISW. We return to the men's room with Miles and Thrill.
Categories analyze this. 100 dogs escaped a mall pet cafe and ended up running through the mall having a good time. So they were all wrangled in there. So I guess they had pet cafes.
Who knew?
But all the dogs were the same breed. Question is, out of the 100 dogs that got loose and started roaming around the mall, what was the breed of the dogs? Huskies, Chihuahuas, French Bulldogs, or Wiener Dogs?
And that is the question I posed to you, gentlemen. Miles, you went with the old French Bulldog.
French Bulldog.
It was not the French Bulldog. Mike, you like wieners. You went with the old Wiener Dog.
Give me the wiener.
Which, to be fair, would be the most hilarious thing to see, but...
Damn it. Small sausage.
Ted swung for the fences. You went Huskies.
There was a little thought behind it.
And you are correct.
Wow. I think the Husky's a big dog in China.
Is it?
Yeah. Well, there is Siberian Huskies, right?
Oh, yeah, there's that. Mm-hmm. But imagine 100, you're just walking through the mall and one real happy 100 dogs, tails wagging, mouths open.
Dude, I was in Leavenworth one weekend and it was like Husky Fest.
Okay.
So there was just people with Huskies just walking all around town. And the same thing. It was awesome. They were all big and loud and friendly.
They are generally, I think that describes a Husky well.
Yep. Yeah, and as the day goes on, it's Leavenworth, you're having a couple beverages. Let's get some more Huskies.
Yeah, hey, perfect weather for them, too. You know? Now for all TV news all the time for TV Time with Ted.
And now, because your pathetic life is confined to countless hours in front of a talking box, the Men's Room presents TV Time with Ted.
Now, some people might not remember this, but, you know, back in 2010, The Sopranos were still a big deal, and it just ended. Also, LeBron James.
All right.
Like, we forget, because he's just been playing in the NBA that long. And I know, some people don't like him, whatever. But,
whatever.
Right, he's been in the NBA, been dominating for that long. Mm-hmm. So this one goes back to 2010. The New York Knicks were hoping to sign LeBron James, right? So he put together this video. They're trying to get everybody to convince him to come there. There was a lot of people in it, but the main thing was that Edie Falco and James Gandolfini did their characters, Tony and Camille Soprano. They're in witness protection. This is 3 years after The Sopranos ended. So I never knew this video existed, but here's the audio of them trying to convince. Basically, they're looking at places for LeBron to move to.
Okay.
So in the end, they're looking at pictures of Madison Square Garden.
Tony, I'm so glad we moved to New York. Life is so much better now.
Yeah, even if we are in the witness protection program.
Now, we just gotta find a place for your friend LeBron to live. What's he like?
Well, he's a modern guy, but he respects tradition. You gotta find something magnificent. Something there's nothing in the world like it, one of a kind, like he is.
Well, here's a place. It says it gets really loud there. Take a look.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's it. That's gonna be perfect for him.
It's also funny, I don't remember his accent being like that thick in The Sopranos. But obviously it was. I mean, like I always say, I watched that whole series. That for whatever reason, that show has never really got me to like, I got to go back and rewatch it.
Nah, I mean, you saw the story. I'm right there with you. I enjoyed the show, but now I'm like, yeah.
Right, like The Wire I've rewatched, Breaking Bad, Top Boy. Like, there's a few I'll go back and watch. Trailer Park Boys. It's pretty simple. But yeah, I'm like, I love The Sopranos. Hated the last couple seasons. Never went back to watch it.
That's fair. Well, the way it ended, I don't think helped.
Correct.
You don't have that good taste in your mouth when it comes to an end.
Now, yesterday we were talking about SNL this past weekend, and we were talking about how they had a skit where people were dressed up like Beavis and Butthead.
Right.
And Thrill and I were mentioning that Heidi Gardner, who's been on SNL for a while, who's also super funny.
She's very funny, man. Underrated. Very funny.
Right. So today I came in, I was telling, me and Mike were talking about it. I said, honestly, like, I thought it was funny when she kind of broke character and everything, but she's a professional. She had a different idea about it. But the basic pitch is Kenan Thompson is like a scientist. It's like one of those important shows that has an audience around it. They're talking about AI, artificial intelligence, not Allen Iverson, the real AI, who you don't need to be afraid of. Well, I mean, look, Allen Iverson's a legend. But either way, he's got to answer a question. At this point, the Beavis guy is gone. He could just see Butthead.
Right.
Can't we just program it to not do that?
Well, it depends. Oh, my God. Are you serious?
What? I think that's a valid question.
No. Now there's a gentleman behind you that looks like Butthead.
Professor, just because our audience members aren't as informed on the issue as you doesn't make them buttheads.
Butthead from the cartoon. He's Beavis' friend.
I'd really like to move on and discuss AI, so would you like him to move?
Yes, thank you. The man with the gray shirt and exposed gums.
Sir. Kindly move seats.
So
yeah, she lost it as soon as she turned around and saw the dude.
Well, and I trimmed it too. She was gone for a good 20 seconds.
Yeah, she was.
Couldn't collect herself.
Correct. So again, as the audience member, like, it's funny. Yeah. Right? But obviously that's her job. That's where me and Mike started talking about it. So like she was saying, like, hey, look, they do a dress rehearsal. Mm-hmm. But she's like, dress rehearsal was so technical, I didn't really focus on what they looked like.
Okay.
And I guess they had been mulling this skit for a while to do it. But she said I was in shock at dress rehearsal too, but whatever. Then she's like, once the show started, she couldn't laugh again. But like, that's her job. So she's like, I should have broke character, this and that. But I'm just like.
But when you laugh, man, I mean, if laughter is going to hit you, I mean, you could be at a funeral, right? And obviously it's the last place you want to laugh. But if for whatever reason you're going to laugh, you're just going to laugh. Right? And there's nothing. Who here did not get in trouble in school when you had like a giggle fit?
Or somebody farted.
And like the teacher's mad and threatening with all this stuff, and you just can't stop laughing. And you're like, no, dude, I hear you. I'm not trying to be disrespectful. I can't stop laughing. Sorry.
Yeah, I remember being at church once on Christmas Eve, and I forget where the priest was from, but he had a bit of an accent. So Christmas Eve, that's the one where all the kids are, this and that. Yeah. A couple of my cousins were littler, but, we got to be, late teenagers, almost 20. But we're still going to Christmas Eve. We're all going to go out and get pizza afterwards, right? But, the priest has to tell the story of Jesus' birth.
Yeah.
And kept calling it a manger instead of a manger. Right. And I mean, I could still feel my Aunt Barbara just shooting darts at me and my cousin Tom because we can't stop it.
Right.
But he's got to say manger
8 times.
At least 8. I was going to say probably in the teens when he's explaining the story, but every time was manger. So, yeah, you're right. Once you start giggling, it's pretty hard to stop. But also, so Mike and I were having this conversation. I go, because he was like, what's the big deal? And I'm like, you're right, but that's her job.
Right.
I was comparing it to like a quarterback maybe scoring a touchdown or whatever, but we'll sit at the podium at the end of the game and go, look, we scored, but that was not the right play.
It's not the play we called.
Right. So I think for her, it's kind of the same thing. She's like, look, it's fine, but like I personally need to be better. But yeah, that's a tough one. Also, again, that one just hits you in that like, oh yeah, well, I'm that age. Like Beavis and Butthead was hilarious.
Sure.
And then at the end of that skit, when they start laughing, like, he's like, come on, they're laughing like them.
Right.
Hannah Waddington from Ted Lasso, Game of Thrones, older, tall, blonde, super attractive.
Right.
She's also very, to her credit, she's just kind of outspoken and doesn't really put up with people's S.
Yeah.
So she hosted an award show for a theater in London on Sunday. She's posted for pictures. One of the photographers says, "Hey, can you show us some leg?" She goes, "Oh my God, you'd never say that to a man. Don't be a D-head, otherwise I'll move off. Don't say show me leg. No." Then she just walked off past the guy who was like in the scrum and just like kind of waved her finger at her. I was like, yeah, I respect that.
Don't be a D-head.
Well, she's already in a very nice dress.
Sure.
Right? Like, I'm sure if it had had a high slit, she probably would. But it's just like, I don't know. I get both. I don't want to say I get both sides. It's like, just take the picture of her.
Right.
Show some leg. Like, nobody's going to take a picture of a dude and be like, "Can you take your shirt off?" Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Drop a testicle.
It depends. If my wife were next to, who's the receiver from the
Metcalf.
Yeah. She'd be like, "Could you please remove your
but
shirt?"
he wouldn't show up with a full shirt on.
You could take the rest of your shirt off.
Right. I mean, I saw a picture of him today. Of course he has a half shirt on.
Mm-hmm. You would, too, if you were built like that.
Channing Tatum.
Yes.
Right? Like, he's famous for Magic Mike movies. But I still think if he's at a premiere in a tux and somebody says, "Just open a couple buttons so we can see your chest," they're probably like, "That's a little weird."
But here you go.
Yeah. I mean,
that's the weirdest thing anyone's asked me, but take a gander.
Right. I still love that dude. Obviously, that guy's in ridiculous shape.
Sure.
He was in even better shape for those movies, but they asked him about number 3, and he's like, "No. Like, it's too harsh for me."
Yeah, I remember saying that. Like, dude, I have to look good, and I'm old enough now. I don't care. I'm not getting in that kind of shape again. I'm sorry.
Right.
It's too hard.
Yeah, I mean,
and he's still in amazing shape.
But not that dancer shape, man, you know. Everything's chiseled, all that
Same
kind
with
of stuff.
Sofia Vergara's ex, Joe
Mangione.
Well, they were talking about doing a third one or whatever the deal was. And he was like, "You don't want to. I hate this." He's like, "I just hate this." It's like he's already in good shape, but I mean, you're talking about cutting 25 pounds of a guy that doesn't need 25 pounds cut.
Right.
Yeah, I think, too,
muscle.
the internet has lost it with this dad bod stuff.
How so?
Like getting on Patrick Mahomes. Like, he's got a dad bod. It's like...
He also has 3 Super Bowl rings. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and he works out all the time. I just think, man, if you look at a picture of somebody, I think in this day and age, you kind of get used. And some of the fitness influencers, they'll even do it. They'll be like, "Here, look, let me pose this way, and look how much more ripped or this or that."
Of course.
So it's like, I think if you saw Patrick Mahomes shirtless in a bar, you'd be like, "Jesus, who is that ripped dude?" But because he's a pro quarterback and it's a bad angle, so he's got it's like, that's not a dad bod. Like, do people go out to normal places?
I know.
Or people got on Kelsey when he was, on a beach, like, "I just thought he'd be more ripped." And it's like,
well, that's
kind of
on
what we're
you.
saying. Right, kind of what we're saying. It's like, that guy, those people are in amazing shape for average humans. They're not. Nobody's going to be Magic Mike ripped. Those guys don't even want to do it anymore.
And your body being sculpted and you being in shape are two different things, man.
At the end of that Kings and Golden State game last night, every single member of Golden State were hugging the other team, hugging their teammates. Draymond Green was smiling,
which
they
is
were
weird.
All happy, and you look at this situation. They just got knocked out of the playoffs.
Yeah,
I'm thinking to myself, I know why they're happy. They don't have to go to practice.
Yeah, that's it.
They can eat whatever they want. They have an off season now. They can go home to their family. They don't have to lift every day. They don't have to run every day. These guys are also in the off season. So, they just won a Super Bowl.
Right.
So all these people are saying have dad bods, like Kelsey or Mahomes, like, dude, this is their time to just like
eating Alfredo.
Focus on their job for a month or two that they focus on all year round anyway.
Right.
And just give them a break, man. On vacation. Who cares?
I think it's just got ridiculous with that term, right? Mm-hmm. It's also like, right, some people's like, that's not a dad bod. He's just a big dude.
Right. Yeah. But sometimes just a body.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'm just like, I don't know if we need to be getting on these guys.
I don't know where they go. Like you said, man, we were on a flight. We were at the airport, all this stuff a couple weeks ago. People don't look like them.
Right.
You get like, bro, trust me, they're in good shape.
Right. It's like one bad angle, and it's like, he's really let himself go. It's like,
yeah, okay.
Easy.
Yeah, right. I mean, you see that a lot with a lot of different athletes and everything else.
Well, always.
Yeah, let them take some time off. And right, like we were saying, like with TV actors and everything, they got to go through crazy amounts of prep. Some of them, I'm sure, are using maybe a performance-enhancing drug
Yeah, of course.
I mean, this or that. And it's like, why not? Like, you're not playing a sport. You're not going to get tested for it. Like, have at it.
That's what I was late about Janet Jackson. She's like, look, if I'm not on tour or doing a big press thing, she's like, I blow up.
I eat what I want.
Once they establish she's going to do a performance or something, she's like, man, I hit the gym. I do everything I can. I drop the weight because that's the image that you guys want. But if you were to bump into her right now, she has nothing going on. Trust me. She is plump. She's happy. She's eating a hot dog. Yeah, but she'll tell you that straight up. Like, oh, yeah, if I'm not on tour, she's like, I'm a slob, dude.
Yeah. The person that plays Penelope Featherton on Bridgerton has an interesting stipulation in her contract. She said for season 3, they have to make a PG cut of the show that her family can watch.
Oh, Lord.
She says, quote, it's literally written into my contract. People think I'm just saying this as a joke. I just don't want it or want to do it. I grew up Irish Catholic. That's just not how we vibe. I think she's just saying, like, hey, I'd like to be able to sit down so the rest of my family can see it.
Without them, freaking out.
Also, like, she's one of the actresses. Bridgerton is a massive show.
Yeah.
I'm sure somewhere in the editing room, somebody could come up with, like, a copy. Jesus, I'm going to sound old. It's got to be a way you could, like, send her a file where, like, here, put this on your TV or your laptop. Your family can watch it without having to see the sexual stuff.
Well, they do it with a movie that has already a movie they put on television. They change the word.
They do it on airlines.
They cut scenes, sure.
They do.
I mean,
like they generally don't keep sex scenes in those movies when they're on the airline.
I wish they would, because now I have no reason to look over someone's shoulder.
Yeah, like I watched a Bond film. He didn't even holler at girls creepily.
Yeah, I mean, even if you have a 9 or 10-year-old and they want to watch you in a movie, and you're an R-rated movie.
Yeah.
All right, all the cuss words come out. All the nudity, all the violence comes out. Now, you might be watching a 20-minute show.
Yeah.
But you can see what mommy's been working on for the last year, or daddy's been working on for the last year, you know?
Yeah, and sometimes people don't even understand what's going on. Let's see. Mike, you were saying earlier, I think there's like 1 or 2 games left. I know the Kraken, they have 1 left? Tomorrow, yeah.
They had a hell of a game last night.
Beast Mode was there.
Yeah, well, okay.
That's a bonus. Still a little confused about this play-in tournament, but there's 2 more games tonight.
There are. Yeah. Thank you, Ted. We appreciate it. You're listening to Men's Room.
Looking for a job is lonely. Endless searching, phone calls that go nowhere, applications that vanish into thin air. What if you could link with dozens of local companies who are hiring right now with just one connection? That's Express Employment Professionals. Find us at expresspros.com. One connection, endless opportunities, and no fees ever for job seekers. Express Employment Professionals. expresspros.com.
For those in the market for flavor, there's Modelo Spiked Aguas Frescas, a flavorful drink that's a modern twist on a Mexican street classic with 4 vibrant and refreshing flavors. Pineapple, watermelon, hibiscus, and cucumber lime, made with a splash of real fruit juice. Modelo Spiked Aguas Frescas are perfect for any fiesta, small or big. Modelo Spiked Aguas Frescas, boldly authentic, vibrantly flavorful. Drink responsibly. Modelo Spiked Aguas Frescas flavored beers imported by Crown Imports, Chicago, Illinois. Hibiscus contains juice only for color.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Whether you love true crime or comedy, celebrity interviews or news, you call the shots on what's in your podcast queue. And guess what? Now you can call them on your auto insurance too with the Name Your Price tool from Progressive. It works just the way it sounds. You tell Progressive how much you want to pay for car insurance, and they'll show you coverage options that fit your budget. Get your quote today at Progressive.com to join the over 28 million drivers who trust Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
The Men's Room returns with Miles and Thrill. Now, let's see what's happening in the real world.
Here in Montana, our motorist witnessed an escaped elephant walking down the street. Meanwhile, in Texas, the U.S. Coast Guard seizes 460 pounds of illegal meat. Locally, authorities catch 3 men suspected of stealing crabs and pots. A couple gives up $24 million to hike the country and to sleep in cots. And a woman brings her dead uncle to the bank to try to get a loan. It's time for your headlines.
Now, it's time to hit the headlines. Here's my cop.
Our top story. We're going to Ohio, where disciplinary action has been taken. A local high school was made aware that a student broke the rules of the school, causing them to call her into the principal's office to admit to her wrongdoing.
Oh, yeah?
She came clean about the offense and was thereby suspended for several days, which also meant that she would be banned from the school's prom that she was planning on attending. Needless to say, she's devastated, but eyebrows are beginning to raise as to her offense. The school has a teacher that has a severe allergy to corn and corn products, leading the school to post signs banning the possession and consumption of such foods items on school grounds. Our offending student had been given a bag of Takis on the bus that she had eaten most of before getting to the school and consumed the last 2 chips on the school grounds before throwing the bag in an outdoor receptacle. This was audacious enough for the school to demonstrate their zero-tolerance policy.
Jesus, man.
Come on.
They were like, you can't even eat a corn product before you come to school?
I guess. I think it's because she technically ate it on school grounds because she was like right outside the building, like, I'll just finish these last 2, and then she threw it away inside of a bag there at the school. Like, come on, gang. I understand the interest of safety and protecting your staff and all that fun stuff. Really? Is this the hill that you're going to die on right here?
I'm 43? Like, it didn't even really make sense. I'm just like, oh, yeah, they are raw corn. Like, yeah. I'm like, I don't know, man, they're Takis.
Well, and that's kind of part of their point, too, is they're like, look, I understand that that's your dietary restriction. Now, dangerously so. She has a life-threatening allergy to this stuff. So I understand why you're taking it seriously. However, that's your dietary restriction. I'm not thinking about it constantly.
Right. It's not on my mind.
Right. And I didn't even bring him to school, she says. You know, her friend gave her the bag. She's like, yeah, I was hungry, so I started eating them.
And she, like, I would think a high school kid would just hide them in your bag and take them in. At least she was smart enough to throw them out on school grounds. But that's a wild.
There's signage posted, and you signed an agreement to not have these in here, so you knew what you were doing.
Oh my God!
Really?
I also think if you have an allergy that strict, maybe working around children isn't the best thing.
Yeah,
teenagers aren't known for being like.
Correct.
Yeah.
Anywho,
worried about other people.
Right.
All right. I'm trying to think of the word.
Yeah.
Like, they're not rude, but also, like, they're teenagers.
Well, shoot, you had a story in Who Sucks Last not terribly long ago of kids that put peanuts in a kid's locker.
They
had
specifically put it in his locker.
Right.
That I get.
Almost like it was a prank. Like, dude, we're going to set off his anaphylaxis. No, it's cool. He's got an EpiPen. Like, no, guys, this is bad. Really bad. In other news, let's go to Brazil for a rather sad story. A woman brought her wheelchair-bound uncle into a local bank and to obtain a loan for about $3,200, the equivalent of $3,200 American dollars. All right. While filling out the paperwork, staffers noticed that the uncle was rather unresponsive when it came to interacting with really anybody, but his niece assured everyone that she was his caretaker and that he was just quiet by nature, you see. Smelling something wrong, a witness began to record the interaction, and everybody noticed that despite the conversation with him, the niece constantly was supporting his head with her hand and that he actually hadn't said anything the entire time. Authorities were called, and it was confirmed that the poor man had actually died several hours earlier.
Damn, man.
They determined that while the woman was technically related to the man, their relationship was a little bit more distant than she let on, and alleged that she was attempting to take a loan out fraudulently. She's now fighting the charges in court.
It could be his wife. That's not cool.
Right.
Jesus.
She didn't know he was dead.
He's fine. He's fine. He's just shy.
He's fine. He just doesn't say much. Uncle, you have to sign the paperwork. Like,
you want me to do what? You want me to sign it? Okay.
It's like, damn, dude.
Can't believe her plan didn't work.
Down to California, where police found a suspicious driver. Officers on patrol noticed a car with an equipment violation, driving as if the operator were impaired, and elected to pull him over. Talking with the driver only heightened their suspicion that he was impaired and asked him to submit to a breathalyzer test, which he did, and failed, registering nearly 3 times the legal limit. What's more, this wasn't his first time our boy had been stopped for DUI. In fact, this was his 6th arrest.
Come on.
Go.
Right, so now we're adding...
How many DUIs do you have before they just take your license?
He was already driving on a suspended license at that point.
Right. Generally, these people already have...
Yeah.
Right, a lot of them aren't, though, and they still just go out and drive.
Yep.
Exactly. I mean, you're drinking and driving already. You know that you can't drive the condition that you're in. You don't care that you're not allowed to with your license. That's just further charges. Just in case those stories left a bad taste in your mouth.
Thankfully, there's good news.
Over to India, where a couple has decided to make a major change in lifestyle. The pair have spent their lives growing and operating a lucrative construction business that has afforded them a life of luxury, but now they want to focus more on their spiritual lives. Following in the footsteps of their young adult children who made the same lifestyle change back in 2022, the couple have renounced their worldly possessions and committed themselves to monk Monkhood, in which they will begin a barefoot walk through the country, surviving solely on the kindness of others around them. But what of their collective $24 million fortune? The couple gave it all the way to the public, handing out everything, money, possessions, everything.
Wow.
In a procession through their local township. They just gave it all away, dude. $24 million worth of stuff. They just gave it to everybody. Damn. Men's Room IPA continues to spread about the Pacific Northwest. Our friend Cap Ron found it at the Safeway in Squim.
Cap Ron. Love it.
All right. You can find the comprehensive locations on the Men's Room page of KISW.com. Men's Room Sports. The Mariners secured their first series victory of the season last night in their own win over the Reds. 3-1. That series finale took place earlier this afternoon, in which the Mariners won it again, 5-1. That's nice. A sweep, baby.
Nice.
Sweeping everybody, Mike. That's right. Grab the brooms, baby.
And in no way was Mike watching that.
Not at all. I was at work. I couldn't possibly be watching it. That's against the rules.
He just raises his hands for no reason.
Well, yeah, but that's just Mike. That's right.
Yeah, that's what he does.
I'm very excited to be a part of the show.
I know, man. We can tell.
I'm here. Yeah. I survived again. Meanwhile, you've got the last couple days of the NHL regular season starting tonight over on TNT, some baseball over on MLB Network, and basketball on ESPN and ESPN2. As far as your weather, sticking with clear skies tonight into tomorrow's temperatures are dipping down into the mid-40s as the sun goes down. And tomorrow, we can expect that good old sunshine and mid-60s temperatures. Sweet. So enjoy the heat, ladies and gentlemen. That is it for your headlines with that. Mike Hot is out.
See you next time for Big W, and the head chef is back with Ted's Meat and Potatoes.
Yes, indeed, it's all true, but in the meantime, well, we be all about this bitch. So until next time, please do what you do best. And for Aletha's sake, stay beautiful.
The Men's Room has been taped before a live studio audience. Wardrobe and makeup provided by Mantastic Limited. This has been a presentation of the Men's Room Radio Network. Oh, man! A Double Flush production.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Whether you love true crime or comedy, celebrity interviews or news, you call the shots on what's in your podcast queue. And guess what? Now you can call them on your auto insurance too with the Name Your Price tool from Progressive. It works just the way it sounds. You tell Progressive how much you want to pay for car insurance, and they'll show you coverage options that fit your budget. Get your quote today at Progressive.com to join the over 28 million drivers who trust Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
Without the ones like you, who work tirelessly to keep things running, everything would suddenly stop. Hospitals, factories, schools, and power plants, they all depend on you. No matter the weather, emergency, or time of day, you're the ones who get it done. At Grainger, we're here for you with professional-grade industrial supplies. Count on real-time product availability and fast delivery. Call, clickgrainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Looking for a job is lonely. Endless searching, phone calls that go nowhere, applications that vanish into thin air. What if you could link with dozens of local companies who are hiring right now with just one connection? That's Express Employment Professionals. Find us at expresspros.com. One connection, endless opportunities, and no fees ever for job seekers. Express Employment Professionals. expresspros.com.